明治東京レンカ。
Hey guys! Shit, that game's loud. Turn it down a little bit. Oh, fuck. Hi guys! What you got? How you guys doing? Hopefully you're all doing well. I apologize for last stream. I don't know what the fuck that was up with whatever that was, but we're good. we figured it out. We figured it out eventually. Hi, Grass. Dude, we haven't played this game since my debut, and I had that itch, you know? I got that itch to play this game. So here we are again. I'm gonna get right into it.
Yeah, yeah. いらっしゃい。待っていたよ、お嬢さん。このデータをロードするのかな。
The next day, immediately took the 1,000 yen and set off for Keio University in Mita. We're taking the yen then! If you're going to return it, you should do it the right way, Otayoko had said, and I was allowed some time away before the tatami room event. This area would be Minato Ward, Tokyo in the modern age. Surrounded by many samurai residences, it was a quiet residential area with a Western-style brick school building towering over the elevated campus.
で、なんで僕がついてこなくちゃいけないわけ?
Why is he here? Yeah, why is he here? Kyoka blurted this out bitterly as he followed me off the rickshaw.
あんたの保護者は川上じゃなくて音やっこだろ。僕は全然関係ないじゃないか。
Yes, that is true, but Otoyoko said,
あんたみたいな小娘が大金持って出歩くと危ないからね。私が番犬を用意しといてやるよ。
The guard dog. Okay, he's playing guard dog for us.
大丈夫大丈夫。あの子は私と違って暇なんだ。ダチンにアンパンの一つでもちらつかせりゃホイホイついてくるだろうよ。
That's cheap.
はあ、こっちは全然暇じゃないんですけど。
Right? I thought it was definitely beyond the pale to rope in a customer like Kyoka to help with a personal matter. Having said that, I would have been a bit unnerved going by myself at this point as well. Having Kyoka here has really been helpful here. Bro's acting like he doesn't want to be here. Exactly! We're absolute treasures. We are amazing. I don't know why he's complaining. He should feel honored. Anyway, thank you so much for agreeing to come with me. There are things to carry, of course. I was anxious about how to use the rickshaw as well. Yeah, remember last time we tried to get like a taxi or a rickshaw? Hello, Alan! Remember what happened last time? I think I'll be fine from here on my own from my own from here. Sorry to take up your time.
だからさ、ここまで連れてきといて何勝手に追い返そうとしてるのさ。
Oh, he cares. He cares. He just doesn't know how to show it apparently.
もうこの際だから最後まで付き合ってやってもいいよって言ってるんだよ、このクズ。
Damn. That's He's really fucking harsh. I don't know how to feel about him.
でもなんであいつ来なかったんだ。確かあいつも塾出身だったんじゃ。なんでもない。ほらさっさと行くよ。
待て。ここは
Oh god, can women not get an education?
いや
Okay.
岩崎さんとどういう関係のものだ。
はあ、他人だよ他人。そんなの決まってるだろ。
Classic Tundra. I don't want to be here with you already. He is a classic Tundra and it's bothering me. I hate him.
他人以外のなんだって言うんだよ。それとも何？僕が岩崎とかいうやつの兄弟か何かに見え。ちょっとあんた。
Just bullshit. Sure, let's just fucking lie like that. Sure, let's lie. She's so desperate.
うん。伝える。
Sure.
Nani? さあじゃん。
Don't. Yeah, exactly. If I was him, I would say the same exact thing. Like, what do you mean you don't know what he does? You haven't heard it.
なんで投資家が研究室にいるんだよ。もう役に立たないな。
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. Why would? If I didn't know anything, I would think, oh, why is this girl trying to see someone she doesn't know anything about? Exactly. Nothing will go wrong with lying about who we are.
ほら、
She's
さっさと
already
返
used
し
to
て
him
さっ
being
さと
so
帰るよ。
fucking mean. It's him! It's Mr. Moneyman!
これは妙で。
No! He's gonna tease us about this! Oh yeah, nothing can go wrong.
しかし
You know what? Truth. at least he understands.
ようこそ私の研
He's
究室
fine
へ
with it, apparently.
歓迎しますよ、お二人とも。
Okay.
そちらは作家の泉京香先生ですね。
そうだけど。別にそういうわけじゃないよ。ただ料亭かどこかで見かけたことがあるだけ。
一度浅草の劇場でもお会いしたことがあります。
え、そうだっけ？
はい。自由民権運動で有名な川上一座の音次郎くんの舞台を見たときに。
ああ、そういえばそんなこともあったような。
Okay, so they know each other. Money, I mean, Tosuke. Exactly. It's Mr. Moneyman. We don't want your fucking money. Take it.
Eh? Ah.
音やっこ
He's confused. No, is this how we find out?
ああ、 そうだったんですか。音やっこ。
He's so fucking lost. Well, yeah, let's not question anything. Don't question it. Let's not question why he's so confused.
Hmm?
あまああいつのことなんかどうでもいいし
He's
それより
trying
もほら
so
問題
fucking hard to hide. He's trying so hard to change the subject. It's actually hilarious.
ええ。ちょうどし。ああ、どうぞ。
He's concerned about anything, man.
たく無駄
Don't question anything, just smile and nod. Exactly! That's the best way to go through life. Just don't question anything. It's fine. Just stay out of trouble. Things like this are things like motors and circuit boards, technical manuals written in English, chemicals in bottles, etc. These were things so unusual that I could not help but stare at them. In the midst of all this, I noticed a picture. Is this New York? It may have been a photo from the trip, as it showed several men with the Statue of Liberty in the background. It was not as clear as a modern photo, but there was someone who looked like Tosuke in it. It's probably quite a thing to travel abroad in this day and age. Meanwhile, Kyoko was sullenly staring at the light bulb on his desk with interest. Apparently, he liked the way sunlight shining through the window glinted off the glass of the light bulb. Come to think of it, this lamp seemed to have electricity. I looked up at the ceiling lights when Tosuke returned from the next room accompanied with the aroma of tea.
それはフィラメント電球です。
フィラメント
ガラス球の中にあるフィラメント。つまり
It's a light bulb that uses radiation from the thermal energy resistant element. While explaining this, Tosuke placed a tray containing teacups on the desk. Then he approached the wall, grabbed something that looked like a lever, and pulled it at once. We fell to the floor and died. End of game. That's the sound of someone falling through the floor. It's like in the Emperor's New Groove. But wrong lever, Kronk! In an instant, a blinding light flooded my vision, and I involuntarily held my hand over my eyelids. The large light bulb emitted light with a sizzling sound. The light intensity was clearly different from that of a gas lamp and lanterns.
何これ眩しいんだけど
これが私の研究している電気です。
Tosuke lowered the lever again and returned to the sofa. You're researching electricity?
ええ。日本ではまだまだ電気代も高く、
Electricity is
配
still
電が進んで
expensive.
いませんが、いずれ全ての家庭に電気が行き届くようになるでしょう。
Pull the lever, Krunk. Wrong lever!
その仕組みをいか
How
に迅速
quickly
に
and inexpensively
低い
we
費
can
用
make
で
this
実
happen.
現させるか、
That's what I'm
今は
thinking
そういった
about
ことを
right
考
now.
えています。
Is that right? Is that right? Thomas Edison. The fucking Japanese Thomas Edison. In this day and age, only large public facilities had electricity, and I was told that power outages were a daily occurrence. Probably due to the lack of stable voltage. In ordinary households, Japanese-style lamps and oil lamps remained the norm. And at night, the city was pitch black. Although it was Tokyo, the constellations are clearly visible. This man intends to spread electricity through Japan.
紅茶冷めないうちにどうぞ。私もちょうど喉が渇いていたところですからお気になさらず。
Okay.
紅茶と一緒にこちらもいかがですか？
え
Have you had eaten before? Have you not?
そうそう食べないだろ。日本じゃ売ってる店も少ないし、すっごく高いし。
Oh, no, I mean, no, I haven't had it. No, I must be mistaken. In these times, chocolate was not widespread yet. In this age, bean jam buns were rare, so chocolate must be a real special treat.
それに食べようと思ったって火で殺菌消毒すると溶けちゃうし。
If I were going to eat it, I would melt it when I was trying to sterilize it with fire. Well, yes. So, Kyoko would even need to sterilize chocolate. It was not the time to be thinking of such things. I quickly placed a furoshiki package on the desk. I want to return this, thank you very much. Yeah, we're stubborn, it's like a whole lot of money in this day and age. We didn't need to, look, MC here, she's real dumb. She doesn't know anything.
この件については昨べ話がついたものだと思っていたんですが。
I appreciate the gesture, but I really feel unable to accept such a large sum of money. I have no particular use for it, and I don't want it to be targeted by thieves, so I'm returning it. Tosuke put down his cup and folded his arms, directing his cool gaze directly towards me.
あなたは
Just now, you said that you were in Oika. You were in an Okia in Kagurazaka. Yes.
あなたの事情は知りませんが、その金があれば沖屋を出られるのでは。
Hi, Noah.
それとも自由の身になれる額には。
There's not enough to allow you to be free. No, that's not what I meant.
ちょっとあんた、なんなんだよ。余計なこと聞いてないでさ、黙って受け取ればいいだろ。第一、この子の事情なんてあんたには何の関係もないじゃないか。他人のくせに干渉するなよな。
確かに泉さんのおっしゃる通りです。
Otome protagonists can't just take shit. Count your blessings, accept your small fortune. No, because what's gonna happen to money once we go back in the future, huh? It's gonna be missing from the circulation of Japanese currency, and it's a whole lot of money apparently. So I don't know how that's gonna fuck with the future. We gotta return it so we don't fuck up the future. While it was fidgeting, Tosuke grabbed a piece of chocolate and hurled it into his mouth. Then another one. And another. Damn, what a fat ass. I'm kidding. He had a thoughtful expression on his face as he devoured chocolates one after another. Amazing. This guy eats chocolate like as if he were eating popcorn. I thought, as he must really love it, and the vigorous way he was eating it was enough to make my mouth taste sweet too. He's still eating. Doesn't he want to have some pickles or something for a change?
わかりました。
Then he stopped eating and he said,
そこまでおっしゃるなら、今回は受け取ることにします。
Wait. Oh my god, it was Tosuke eating it. I thought it was Kyoka. I thought it was Kyoka eating it. Turns out Tosuke's the fat ass.
Huh?
If I refuse now and you come barging in tomorrow, what would be the point? You see right through me. Yeah, we're a stubborn fuck. You better listen to us. I think we're doing a lot more to fuck up the future than taking money. We're going back and there's gonna be termination. Exactly. But that just means we gotta minimize how much we're fucking up the future, you know? We gotta minimize it. Then please give me the money.
Hi.
Yes, received. Don't you want to see what's inside?
あなたが確認してくれたんでしょ？だったらそれで十分です。
Damn, dude ain't even gonna check. He trusts us, or is he just not seeing a point in like if money was missing? You know what? Yeah, I thought so. You obviously looked at things very differently than or. I accidentally went back. Oh. You obviously looked at things very differently from ordinary people. I can at least say it was vastly different from how I saw things.
用事は済んだ。じゃ。
Oh, damn.
Oh. Eh?
Where the fuck did that come from? Fucking magic!
あんた。じゃあ。
What the fuck are you talking about?
とに。
What the fuck is that face for? This seems to be the one time that I do not pass even though I'm in a hurry. The city only had a few pedestrians here and there and hardly any rickshaws pass through. Sometimes I see rickshaws, but they have passengers in them, and we have no option but to keep walking until we can track one down. Watching. Somehow, I felt like I shouldn't meet that gaze, and although I dared not to look, I couldn't help but notice the long ears in my field of vision.
あんた。
Tamayori. The fuck is that? Kyoko-san said this abruptly. What's a tamayori?
はあ？嘘だろ？知らないの？
Damn rich people acting like money is nothing. I'll say that until one of them gives me hell again for being an attractive otome protagonist. Look, we gotta keep if you have otome protagonist status, you gotta act like the otome protagonist. You gotta be stubborn, you gotta be dumb, and you gotta invade people's lives.
はあ？嘘だろ？知らないの？
I nodded. Oh, I keep pressing shit. I nodded, and Kyoko stood with his mouth agape for a while.
はあ、そっか。あんた記憶がないとか言ってたっけ？玉寄りっていうのは、この子みたいなもののけが見える人の総称だよ。
Oh?
そう、もののけは日暮れから夜明けまでのおぼろの時に姿を現すんだ。だからさっき急にこの子が出てきたんだよ。
Okay, so like magic, I guess. Spirits. I suppose that makes sense considering we were whisked away by someone who's probably a spirit.
おぼろの時は境界が曖昧になる。
This person had said the same thing. So normally I wouldn't be able to see this rabbit.
まあ見えない人の方が多いんじゃない？昔はもっと見える人もいたみたいだけどさ。
Okay.
今は人前に姿を現すもののけも随分減ったらしいし、玉寄り自体も少なくなったって聞いたけど。
Damn the modern age! They took a magic away from us! When has Kyoka ever told a joke? And I heard stories of Mononoke coming out before, but I wasn't sure how much to believe them. So I waited for a while for Kyoka to say, "Just kidding, you goof," or something like that.
何？
Hey, what the hell? That's horrible. He's not gonna say it at all? Apparently he wasn't kidding.
まあ玉寄りだからって差別されたりするわけじゃないけど、あんまり言いふらしたりしない方がいいんじゃない？
Okay, I guess. Sure, we'll go with that. We'll do exactly what you say, cause I don't think you have any. There's no point in.
特に藤田なんかに知られたら面倒なことに巻き込まれそうだし。
Who the fuck is Fujita? Oh.
当たり前だろ。他に誰がいるんだよ。あいつは警視庁の中でももののけ絡みの事件を扱う洋らかに所属してるんだ。あんたが玉寄りだって知られたら間違いなく目をつけられるだろうし、いいように使われるに決まってるよ。
Okay, so keep quiet as much as possible. Okay, got it. Felt the chill as I remembered Fujita's sharp eyes. Well, I don't think we'll be running into him that often. Don't say that. Now we're gonna keep running into him. That's scary.
なんだよ急に。
I was just wondering whether I might run into Fujita-san in the tatami room soon. You know, he really seemed to like Otoyako quite a lot.
はあ？
Yesterday, various things were going on at the Rokumeikan, but Fujita certainly looked at Otayoko in a lascivious way. Sure he did. Had I not witnessed the actual scene, but Otayoko said so, and I don't think there can be any doubts. Yeah, let's believe her full-heartedly, without any doubts or any room for disbelief. No, Otoyako can never lie. She would never lie to us.
は？藤田があいつを？あんた狐にでも化かされたんじゃないの？
It's not a lie, it's true.
そんなわけな。じゃなくって、ああもうあんたのヨタ話に付き合ってたらこんなところまで歩いてきちゃったじゃないか。
We continued walking for several dozen minutes before we realized that we were in front of a grand building. It was the type of modern terracotta stone building that would not look out of place in the modern age.
帝国ホテルだよ。
It's the Imperial Hotel. Imperial Hotel. That is the name of the famous luxury hotel that still stands in the modern age. I had no idea it had been around since the Meiji period. It's an amazing building.
そりゃあ外国人の賓客向けに作られた宿泊施設だからね。宿泊客は金持ちばかりだよ。そうだ、ここなら車が待機してるかも。
Kyoko clapped his hands and peeked inside through the gate. I was pretty sure the Imperial Hotel was in the Hibiya area. That means the park is... There's a large park near the hotel. It was unmistakably Hibiya Park, the first place I came to upon entering this period. At the same time, I collected the faces of the magician. Maybe...
ねえ、何ボサッとしてるのさ。さっさと車に乗るよ。
I just remembered I have something to do. Please go on ahead, Kyoka-san.
はぁ？
What do you mean something to do? Thank you so much for your time today. Goodbye then.
あ、
Bye!
ちょっと
Bye, dude.
どこに行くんだよ。
Wonder if Charlie's here. Oh, that fucking bitch! Where the fuck are you? I've been wondering about him for a long time because I had lost him during our time at the Rokumeika. I had no way of contacting him, so I came back to the place where we first met. We probably cannot meet so easily. I walked around the park for a while, but Charlie was nowhere to be found. Of course, it cannot be that convenient. It's never that convenient. Hold on, let me adjust my chair. Alright. Uh-oh, nighttime. Oh no, it's already dark. I've been taking it easy, and a lot of time had passed. I needed to go home soon. Nothing. No, we gotta go see him and give him a piece of our mind. We gotta fight him. Gotta fight him in order to go back. Because I was walking around the park blindly, I completely lost my bearings. To start with, I decided to ask a passerby for directions. Excuse me. I approached a young woman in a kimono who happened to be passing by. She turned back to me and gave me a bewitching smile with her red lips. For a good moment, a shiver ran down my back. Her skin was naturally milky white, and it felt for a moment as though the ground beneath me moved.
私に何か用かい?
Oh yes, I wondered where the exit to the park was. I desperately suppressed my discomfort.
教えてあげてもいいけどさ。
I don't have a good feeling about this.
ただし。
At this, she squinted her eyes in the shape of crescent moon. Her teeth peeking through the gaps between her lips were black. Her teeth were jet black, as if painted in black ink. Uh-oh, her white neck stretched out. No, I hate the sound. I hate the sound. Please, make the sound stop. No. I hate this sound. Holy shit. Oh, thank God. Fuck, holy shit. That sound was awful. Holy, I hated that sound. Oh, we're gonna die. I fled the place unceremoniously. I ran and ran and ran. I just kept running through the dimly lit park. Hey, what is that? What is it? Her mouth was so big that it split her face, and her neck was so elongated that it didn't even look human. Oh, it's a yokai! Oh, shit! I couldn't forget the image of her bloody red lips, and the clattering of her teeth kept ringing in my ears. And I hope it never rings in my ears again, because that was awful. That was an awful sound, and I hated that. Help!
Oi!
Oh my god, it's finally— now he shows up. Okay.
いるよー。やあ、元気だったかな?
Who the fuck is May? Took off his hat in an aloof manner and made a graceful bow. Of course, the first person we approach is some creepypasta monster. You don't have to be rude to her. Not everyone can be a model, I'm sure. Yeah, sure she is. On the inside. Charlie. The fear I felt earlier was instantly relieved. I didn't know who the person I was talking to, but somehow a total sense of relief enveloped me as if we were reunited with an old friend. Yes, there's a ghost over there.
お化け
When I say ghost, it was more like an apparition. Apparition. Hit me as I said this to myself. I wonder if the woman with the big mouth was a mononoke or something like that. No way, that's...
妖怪ってイッタモーメンとか砂かけババアとかああいうやつ
Oh boy, yep. No, that's not it. She seemed normal at a quick glance. A normally beautiful lady. Hi, Bunnybell! When I fell silent, Charlie shrugged and smiled.
夢でも見てたんじゃないかな
No, I was definitely not dreaming that awful, awful sound. That awful, awful sound. I could never dream that. Holy shit. It was not a dream. I was definitely awake.
じゃああれだ狐かタヌキにでも化かされたんだろう
Where is that from? An old Japanese folktale? When I stared at him, Charlie blinked and looked somewhat entranced.
相変わらずたまらないな
Ew, Charlie, I want him to go away. Now.
君のその
Pot of curry leak in the middle of summer.
怒りと哀れみを足して2で割ったかのごとく冷え切った視線がだよ
I don't want to look at you anymore, Charlie. He approached me slowly with an euphoric gaze. I knew it was dangerous. In the same place as the other day, I painfully felt his lack of remorse. If you get any closer, I won't be responsible for my actions.
望むところだよ
Ew! Ew! Why is he a freak? He's a freak, guys.
むしろとどめを刺してくれその双眼から放たれる伝説のエターナルフローズンでね
Ew. What's that maneuver? I didn't know what he was getting at, but I revealed nothing with my eyes.
さあどんとこいだもっと僕を蔑み冷笑してくれないか
Can you just take me back home? It's not my thing at all. 5 minutes with Charlie and he's already insufferable. It's almost this is just how he is. He's insufferable. I hate him. I backed away like a receding tide. I wanted to get out of there at that point, but there's a reason why this was not possible. Forget that. I came here today because I had something to say to you. Fuck you! Take me home!
はて
What do you think? I want you to return me to the modern age. Unless this person can't help me, it will surely be impossible for me to get out of this world myself. You brought me here in the first place, so surely you'll be able to take me back. When I strongly appealed to him, he easily returned to his usual aloof expression.
ふーん
So you want
帰
to go
りたい
home?
んだ現代での自分のことなんてほとんど忘れちゃってるのに
That's right. Forgetting about myself did not mean that I wouldn't want to go home. If I go back to the modern age, then I may be able to remember everything.
確かにそうだな君の記憶が曖昧なのは一時的なものだ現代に帰れる頃には全てを思い出しているかもしれない
When I can go back to the present day? Was an oddly curious thing to say. Can we not go home now? Is that not possible now? Somehow this sounds like this is not the first time you've said this.
言わなかったかな
Didn't I tell
僕
you?
は過去にも何度かマジックに参加してくれたお客さんを違う時代に飛ばしたことがある 何も君
It's
が
not as
初め
if
てと
you
いう
were
わけじゃ
the
ないのさ。
first. So you've done this before! What was this highly destructive magic? I felt deeply sorry for my predecessors who had to endure the same thing. Girl, feel sorry for yourself too, holy shit. Who are these people? What ended up happening to
うん。現代に帰った人もいれば帰らなかった人もいるかな。
What does that even mean? So, what do you mean? I can't go home?
僕は帰れないなんて一言も口にしていないよ。
Then send me back already! Stop being a weirdo!
ただちょっとね、簡単にはいかないんだ。ある特定の条件下でないとなかなか成功しないことが分かってね。
Conditions?
そう。君がこの時代にやってきた夜に近いシチュエーションを用意する必要がある。
Charlie looked up overhead when he said this. Floating in the night sky was a round moon with a hint of vermilion. Compared to the other day when it was full moon, it certainly lacked a little roundness.
チャンスは約1ヶ月後の満月の夜だ。
His dignified voice echoed in the darkness of the night.
もし君が1ヶ月経っても現代に帰りたいと願っているなら、僕はもう一度だけ同じマジックを仕掛けよう。
He will use the same magic trick. That is, the magic of the mysterious box I got on the night of the festival.
ただ、君がこの時代に残りたいと願うなら話は別だよ。その場合は。
In that case, I'll go back to the present day alone. That will never happen. I will be going back with you. Famous last words.
ま、1ヶ月後には君の記憶。
Well, in a month's time, you should have gained quite a bit of your memory. You'll be free to draw whatever conclusions you choose. Whether or not I regain my memory, my conclusions will be the same. I have to go back to the modern age. Family and friends were probably waiting for me in the modern age. Probably, yes. Probably. We're gonna say, yeah, totally. We have friends. We have lots of friends and family. We have so many. We're so popular in the modern age. We're an otome protagonist. How could we not be popular? In any case, I was sure that 1 month would pass in a flash. Understood. So I will come back here 1 month from now.
そうだね。僕はだいたいこの辺りをうろうろしているから、1ヶ月後と言わず、気が向いたらいつでも来てくれていいよ。
Hang around. By the way, Charlie, what happened the other night? Surely you're not sleeping rough. I had been lucky enough to be picked up by someone from this age, but I wondered if he had found a place to sleep.
何を言い出すのかな。僕は奇術師だよ。
Took off his hat and took a deep breath. Yeah, like the guy from school and the other girl from school. Those people from the club were totally in.
この帽子の中をよく見て。3。
Fuck does that? What the fuck?
さあ、どうぞお嬢。
We don't want it! The bouquet was handed to me and I blinked.
芸は身を助けるって言うだろう。僕ぐらいの腕があれば蔵が立つほどチップがもらえるのさ。
Sure. I see. Tips. From appearances, the ladies and gentlemen at the Rokumeikan were very rich. Among them were many foreign customers. It was easy to imagine their reactions if you performed magic in front of them. Well, I had a feeling that he would be resilient enough to live anywhere. For now, it didn't seem like I needed to worry myself about Charlie's livelihood.
ところで、もう暗くなっちゃったけど帰らなくて大丈夫？君の家主が心配するんじゃないの？
There's no way she has no one back home, but immediately makes bonds with people in this period. Are you charismatic or not? Exactly! We're so charismatic, there's no way! There's no way that we wouldn't find... We couldn't make our livelihood or whatever. We're fine. We'll be fine. We have plenty of friends in the modern age. Ah, that's right. A lot of time has passed since I started talking to Charlie. I will be going then. Take care. Don't let those foxes or raccoons tease you. I am one of those raccoons or tanuki, and I wouldn't be worried about me. I won't worry about me at all. No, not one bit. I am very friendly. I'm sure that he doesn't believe it. My story. He was always playing the Joker, but somehow I could not hate him. Well, I don't see how you couldn't hate him. In any case, just 1 month was left. In 1 month, this incomprehensible life will come to an end. When I thought about it, I felt a little lighter. I looked up and walked towards the exit of the park. Seventh day.
こら、お酒はまだなのかい？
I'll be right there.
このお膳、片付けておいてって言ったじゃないか。
I'm sorry, I will get to it right away. The voices of the young women were interspersed by the ballad of the shamisen. The tatami room was reserved exclusively for a group that day, and it was like a war zone. I still made a lot of mistakes, but I felt much more comfortable with my work than I did the first day. At first, I was afraid of the drunken customers, but as I watched the other women, I gradually learned how to handle them. So many video games, jokesters or jesters are hated. They give us they give you a bad name because they act annoying and put you in situations you don't want to be in. Like Charlie literally putting us in the Meiji period.
福沢先生、やはり大学部の学生は最低でも300名は確保したいところですな。
今は3学科合わせても100名か。このまま帝国大学の後人を排しているわけにはいかん。一刻も早く法令を整備しなければ。
Tonight seemed to be a social gathering of school officials, and different conversations could be heard from all over the tatami room. It seemed that the most elite of the elite were gathered here, and my hands were more tense than ever as I served the drinks.
おや、今日はまた賑やかだね。
Ah, Otayoko. A while after the banquet started, Otayoko came to the tatami room. Hang on, I thought it was your day off today.
人手が足りないからって鍵盤に引っ張り出されたんだよ。まったく人使いが荒いったらありゃしな。
Suddenly, Otayoko's eyes widened and she fled behind a sliding door.
まずいぜ。なんで今日に限って福沢先生がいるんだよ。
What's wrong?
いや、どうってこともないんだけどさ。
いや、音やっこではないか。
A man peeked out from behind Otayoko, and who herself was hiding behind a sliding door.
こんなところでかくれんぼかい？楽しそうではないか。
It's him!
僕も混ぜてくれたまえ。
I think we saw him at the beginning at the Rokumenka.
なんだ、森先生じゃないか。脅かさないでおくれよ。
This guy...
おや？こちらも見覚えのあるお嬢さんだね。
Yes, we've seen each other before. I tried to recollect the last few days. This person was Olgai Mori. Good evening.
ほう、今日は前衛的なドレスではないのかい？
え？
和装も悪くはないが、僕としてはこの前の洋装の方が好みではあるな。ひらひらとして実に動きやすそうだった。
I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Olgai had a smile on his face and he stared as if observing my whole body. I remembered he stared at me in the same way the first time we met the Rokumeika. Well, I was supposed to be dressed that way. I did look in this age. It's not surprising people stare. Saying that my uniform was to his liking, I guess Mr. Olgai might be someone with a rather avant-garde taste.
それにしても今日はどうしたんだい？帝国大出身の森先生が三田の集まりに顔出すなんてさ。
ああ、実は最近三田で心理学の授業を受け持っているのだよ。
Okay.
ゆくゆくは大学部文学科の顧問にと打診されていてね。そういう意味も。
Literature department. I think that's the reason why I'd been invited.
へえ、大学部かい。そりゃまた随分な注文じゃないか。今だって学生集めに苦心してるらしいのにさ。
はは、これは手厳しい。まあ確かに慶応には大学部などなくとも普通部さえあれば十分だという世論はあるね。
Why not? I don't understand the word they're saying. Like, what are you talking about? A universal club? A university club?
しかしながら帝国大だけが正式に大学と呼ばれるのは少々不公平ではないかな。官立も私立も等しくあるべきだな、お嬢さん。
Huh? Why are you asking me? Mr. Olgai suddenly struck up a conversation with me as I was pouring sake into the Ochoko Sake Club. As the conversation had been so serious, I didn't expect to be asked my opinion, and I freaked out. I panicked. Oh god, I'm supposed to have an opinion, but in this age, I'm a woman.
一つ聞こう。今の大学に足りないもの、それは何だと思うかい？
I don't know, I haven't been there. How should I answer? He's not talking about the cafeteria, is he? The other party was a high up and respected customer. If my answer was not the correct one, he might get angry and leave. What was more, there was no way I would know that I would know what was missing from universities in this age.
ちょっと森先生、この子にわかるわけないだろ。大学ほど女にとって縁遠い場所はないんだからさ。
Exactly. We can't even go to universities. Why would we know?
そこなのだよ、おとやっこくん。僕はね、常々思っているのだよ。女学生だと。
No, he's this type. No, he's the perverted type. No, what the fuck?
は？
Looking straight at me, Otoyako, who were both taken aback, Olgai's sons continued passionately.
とにかく大学という場所はむさ苦しくてかなわないのだ。特に寮などは汗まみれで欲求不満な輩の吹き溜まりと化している。
He had a chance to turn around my expectations and say, women deserve educations too, but no, we're going in this direction, I guess.
あんな閉塞的な男社会で門閥だなんだと争うのは実に馬鹿げた話だ。直ちに女学生を受け入れて浄化を図るべきなのだよ。
said, no, women should be educated too. Oh, there's surely some intelligent women out there that can add a lot to our university. No, it's because men keep forming cliques and women will fix the atmosphere, apparently. I thought I could see the flames roar behind Mr. Old Guy's eyes. Perhaps this person was serious and is concerned for the Japanese educational system.
というわけでご婦人方、教育改革の第一歩を踏み出すためにも、ぜひ僕にその力を貸してくれないだろうか。ああ、そうだ。まず手始めに僕の授業を見学に来るといい。
You know, I suppose there could be worse reasonings. And at least he's willing to accept women into a school.
え？
神美学はハルトマンの思想に基づいた美の本質を解明する哲学的な学問だ。感性を高める上でもきっと役に立つだろう。
And we're back to the sexism. It's fine. Women should be allowed in colleges so they can get educated, right? Sure. Exactly! He's like, sure, yeah, education for women. Sure, that's important, I guess. But no, he's more concerned about the aesthetics of being part of the atmosphere, or whatever he said. Okay, I guess this is the Meiji. I guess this is a Meiji period, and this is an otome game. This is when was this game released? Give me a moment. When was Meiji Tokyo Renka game released? 2011. I guess that adds up. That adds up. October 2011. The original PSP 2011. Okay. I guess no. I suppose it adds up for a 2011 game.
神美学はハルトマンの思想に基づいた。よし、そうと決まれば早速塾の許可を取らねば。福沢先生。
Yeah, Otayoko restrained Mr. Old Guy, who seemed to be foaming at the mouth as he started to stand up. He is drunk. He is drunk.
ほら、私も森先生の授業を見たいのは山々なんだけどさ、この時期何かと忙しくってね。その代わり、私の分までこの子がバッチリ授業を見てくるからさ、ね、あんた。
But I have to clean the Okia and do various things.
バカ、これも仕事のうちだよ。ひいきにしてもらういい機会じゃないか。
Sure, yeah, we'll do it, I guess. What? After secretly whispering in my ear, Otayoko straightened her back and gave me a charming smile.
というわけだから、森先生、この子のことよろしくね。
Educated women hadn't been invented yet. No, we don't. They don't exist. We have smart women, but we don't have educated women. We haven't invented. It was only a few years prior that we had invented women. Not who knows. It's a bit too early for us to invent educated women.
ただし、あんまり遅くならないうちに返しておくれよ。
Sure, let's go with this.
任せておきたまえ。いや、明日が楽しみだな。
Okay, so we're doing this. No other conversation, no confirmation from the higher ups. We're just doing this. Tomorrow. Everything happened so quickly that I couldn't help but be puzzled. Same, girl, same. It was true, however, that I actually found it quite exciting. It was truly rare to be able to experience a classroom from another age. You're so right. educated people that just don't exist in this age. But I was really going to go to Keio University again. That messy lab floated around the back of my mind. Coils scattered in a stack of Western books, a small light reflecting diffusely in a thin glass ball. The soft aroma of tea and chocolate. Well, I'm sure that we won't see each other again anyway. He seemed really busy and... And what, girl? And what? 8th day.
このようにかつては理想派と実際派の二元的分類に
Oh shit. I just wanted to look. Oh fuck. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it just ends at and. Plus, the dormant critique was a binary catalyzation of ideals and pragmatists. The next day, I had promised Mr. Ogai I came to observe a class at Keio University. Mr. Mori, I have a question. Go ahead, Sato-kun. It's about Hartman's concept of image-forming ideal. That sounds difficult. I have to admit that I couldn't understand everything in the class, but Mr. Ogai in a very attentive way. Taught in a very attentive way. Above all, the students were enthusiastic about their studies, and they all listened to the lectures attentively.
そう。その点において彼の心理学は応用が効くのだ。さまざまな観点から芸術を包括して説明することができる。
I've missed this. I was sure that when I was in the modern age, I would have taken his class at school like this. Even though I had been in this period for only a short time, I somehow felt terribly distant from what I should have been in the modern age. Why is that? Yeah, why is that? I'm not really someone who should be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to your class today. After the class was over, we were leaving the school building, and I thanked Mr. Ogai again.
いや、こちらこそ忙しいところ悪かったね。だが教室に女性がいたことで、塾生たちもがぜん張り合いが出たようだ。
Okay, I guess men will be men. Men will be men, I suppose. Is that right?
そうとも。僕もかつては学生の身だったからね。彼らの気持ちは手に取るようにわかるのだよ。
After giving a small laugh, Mr. Ogai's expression became serious.
何はともあれ。これで男女共学は有益であることが実証されたわけだ。今日の検証結果は後日改めて福沢先生に報告することにして。
Yes, of course. Do you mean me? Why do you say little squirrel?
当たり前ではないか。他にどのコリスがいるんだい？
But why that? Why that specifically? Mr. Ogai looked around and then tilted his head as if he were bewildered at what I said. I wanted to press home the point that it should be me who was bewildered. Well, can I just ask something for my reference? Where did the squirrel name come from?
それはもちろん、お嬢さんがコリスのように可愛いからだ。
Okay, you flirt.
その柔らかな頬に、果たしてどれだけの量の牛肉を詰め込むことができるのか、いつかゆっくり観察してみたいものだね。
Okay, weirdo. Okay, we're in beef territory. We're back in beef territory, chat. We're talking about beef again. I recalled the incident from a few hours earlier. Today's lunch was stewed beef lunchbox bought by a staff member of the university. But there was one lunchbox left over, and he had said it would be a shame to waste it. So I gratefully accepted. No, you're wrong. It's not. It's not that one lunchbox is not enough for me or anything. Where when it comes to meat, it's strange, but I can't. But I can eat it an endless amount. When it comes to rice soaked in the juices of meat too, that is special. Okay, this girl loves her beef bowls.
はははそこまでお気に召したのならあの弁当も本望だろう。
Well, was I really being too brazen? It seemed rather that it comes to it seemed that rather than come to observe the class, I had just come to be treated to lunch.
ではコリスちゃん、そろそろ神楽坂まで送ろうではないか。
What? Oh, no, I'm fine. I can go home by myself.
気にすることはない。僕はこれから富山町の軍医学校に出勤するのだよ。神楽坂は通り道だ。
No, no, you can't. It's unprofessional. It's unprofessional. Indeed, the military medical school where Mr. Olgai usually works was located at rather close to Kagurazaka. But
遠慮は無用だ。ここでちょっと待っていなさい。今馬を連れてくるからね。
well, I suppose it's not out of the way. Oh my god. Apparently, that lady. No, we're bringing that back.
はい、そうらしいです。今日は森さんの授業を見学に出したとか。
なんだそうか。俺はてっきり岩崎さんの婚約者かと思ったぞ。
寮でもその話で持ちきりでしたが、どうやら違ったようで。
Oh no. There are gonna be rumors. That's the one thing we didn't want. While waiting for Mr. Olgai, I felt the gazes of people from all over the words Iwasaki-san rang in my ears. I remembered that now I had entered the campus on the pretext of being Iwasaki-san's younger sister. What should I do? Should I say thank you for always being there for my brother? I was afraid of getting found out if I didn't do it properly. Just as I was thinking this over, I heard Mr. Olgai.
コリスちゃん、待たせたね。
That horse sound effect. It was clearly a person. It's so funny, actually. What's even funnier is that he brought an actual horse. Like a whole ass horse. You wouldn't see that in the modern age. Looking at that huge creature that seemed to block out the sun, my legs nearly buckled beneath me. It's a horse. It's really a horse.
いかにも馬だが。
Mr. Olgai, who came with a horse in tow, looked at me as if to say, "Is there a problem?" Sure, yeah, that's the most horse-sounding horse I've ever heard. We might as well say we're horsing around here. Wow, I just thought I misheard the words rickshaw as horse.
役割という意味ならどちらも同じだよ。しかしそんなに驚くこともあるまい。象や虎を連れてきたならともかく。
No, I think you'd normally be surprised. I think you'd normally be surprised. I mean, she keeps forgetting that this is the Meiji era. Surely this is more common than in the modern era. Oh, okay. She's pointing that out. I've seen railroad carriages in the city, but when I saw one up close and personal, I was again amazed at its size. Mr. Olgai, do you always travel on horseback?
出勤時にはよく使うよ。陸軍に所属している人間は大抵そうではないかな。もしやコリスちゃんは馬に乗ったことがないのかい？
Yep, maybe.
ああ、そうだったのかい。 いや、最近芸者衆の間で乗馬が流行っていると聞いたものでね。
No, I hear that horseback riding is all the rage among geisha these days.
てっきりコリスちゃんも乗ったことがあるのかと思っていたのだよ。しかし初めてなら怖がるのも無理はない。
As I suspected, Mr. Olgai was intending to put me on the horse and send me on my way. On my own, with no experience on a horse. I was somewhat scared, but it was a great opportunity. And this horse had very kind eyes. It was possible that we shall get along surprisingly well. With this in mind, I looked up at Olgai. I'm fine. I'm not afraid anymore.
Hmm?
If you don't mind, I would like to ride. I said this with full resolution, and Mr. Olgai smiled slightly, surprised in a and Mr. Olgai smiled in a slightly surprised way. It's shocking to see how big. Yeah, you think like horses would be like the height of like a normal human, but they're actually quite big. I've only ridden like a horse as a kid, and that was like with like horseback rides on like summer camp or like at campgrounds. But like they're surprisingly big, especially when you're a kid. They're huge.
そうかい。コリスちゃんは実に勇敢な女性だね。ま、ものは試しだ。乗ってみて怖かったらすぐに降りなさい。いいね。うんうん。いい調子ではないか。
Yeah. Okay, we're practicing first, I guess. We decided to practice in a wide area first, so we came to a nearby riverbank. Thanks to the guidance of Mr. Olgai, I somehow managed to get on the horse. It's so high! Like me on weed. At least my line of sight was high. The view was different from what we get inside a rickshaw.
どうだい？思ったほど怖くはないだろう？馬はとても賢い動物だからね。下手な車夫よりは安心して身を任せることができる。
Looking up at me, Mr. Olgai smiled. His tone of voice, as if he was praising his very own child, brought a smile to my face. No, I might just be okay. It'll be fine. It's just a horse. Of course, I couldn't run through the wilderness like a cowboy, but I could at least manage if I had the horse walk slowly.
では少し歩いてみるかい？
Yes, thank you. At the same time, the horse suddenly started pacing and walking. Panicking, I gripped the reins tightly. Oh, Mr. Olgai, she's walking! Or rather, she's running.
コリスちゃん!
Uh-oh. See, I should have seen this coming. Of course something will go wrong as soon as we get on the horse.
こら! 待ちなさい!
Mr. Olgai accompanied me, tried to grab on the reins, but the horse seemed excited and just went faster and faster. Not having the ability to stop the horse, all I could do was hold on to the saddle to prevent myself from being thrown off. Help me! Damn dog! My life would end with me unable to return to the modern age. Next moment I decided what to do, and suddenly the wind stopped. I felt the horse who had been snorting wildly had suddenly grown quiet, and I looked up fearfully. I think it makes it funnier, I'm not gonna lie. I love the human sound effects. Ah. Oh my god, it's him! It's Tosuke!
またあなたですか。
We keep fucking running into each other. It was Tosuke looking up at me, with a somewhat dumbfounded look on his face. Surprised by the unexpected appearance of someone, Tosuke gently patted on the excited horseback as if to soothe him and said,
もう野犬は追い払いました。とりあえず馬から降りたらいかがですか？
Yeah. When I tried to get off the horse as I was told, I couldn't get my legs to move and I body tilted. Damn! Oh my god! This guy has riz! Tosuke held me back and saved me from falling. I'm sorry!
いいえ。
With strong arms and a broad chest holding me firmly in place, my mind was in a state of panic filled with embarrassment and apology. Are you injured? Have you broken a rib? You're not that fat, girl. Come on.
ご心配。
I'm not that. Well, that's good at least.
この馬も野犬に吠えられて少し興奮しているようですが、もう大丈夫でしょう。
Just the dog. They did the same thing with the dog as they did with the horse. It's just some guy going woof, 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 into the mic. I think this game would do for another voice actor making animal voices instead of an actual animal making the noise.
しかし、随分と立派な馬を従えているんですね。あなたとは不思議とまたどこかで会うような気がしていました。
Your case, I had a strange feeling when we meet again somewhere. I just think he didn't expect it to be on a horse.
ですが、まさか馬に乗って現れるとは、あまりに予想外だ。
I don't think anyone could like expect that. Perhaps if we go to Keio University, we might meet some such people. It was not that I didn't have a hunch about it either, but I never for a moment thought that I would be riding on horseback at the time.
ここまで来ると。
This dude's like so weirded out that at this point he expects to see her again in the weirdest manner. No, I mean, I hope I won't cause you such trouble like this again. Probably. Hopefully not. But probably will.
多分ですか。何にせよ気をつけてください。
A hungry stray dog might jump on you with the intention of biting you even though you were on a horse.
それに比べれば、鹿鳴館で水客をあしらっている方がまだ平和です。
Okay, maybe, probably. I mean, drunk people, they be wild. Drunk people are wild. I know, I'm a professional alcoholic.
もう手を離しても大丈夫ですか？
When I faced Tosuke to offer him my thanks again, he looked at me and chuckled.
ひどい格好だ。
Okay, you didn't have to point that out, my dude.
コリスさん、無事かい？
I turned to the voice and saw Mr. Old Guy rushing towards us.
ああ、よかった。
That's good at least. Not at all, it was my fault. I had been taught to pull on the reins to stop the horse, but all I could do was hang on. Moreover, my feet probably hit the horse's stomach several times. This would be the signal for the horse to accelerate. I'm sorry I startled you. I'm sorry, horse. I know you didn't mean any harm. You were just spooked. You were just doing what you were told. I'm sorry. The horse was now completely calm and squinted pleasantly as I stroked its mane.
おや？
こんにちは、森さん。
Did these two know each other? These two seemed to know each other and exchanged light greetings.
なるほど。これは森さんの馬だったんですね。
野犬を追い払ってくれて助かったよ。さすが獅子を背負う男だね。
What does that mean?
またそんな昔話を。
君が塾生だった頃はそれだけ目立っていたということだ。
I see. They're both affiliated with the university. Did we not did we not notice before? As Mr. Olgai said, I was sure Tosuke was very prominent when he was a student at the university. He was the type of person whom the term strikingly handsome seemed to fit perfectly. It would definitely have been a big hit with the girls.
時にコリスちゃん
What girls? There are no girls in university at this time. We've been over this. Yes.
乗馬は機会を改めるとしてやはり今日のところは車で送ろう
Oh, I'm sure I can go home on my own. Please, go and take care of your work, Mr. Old Guy.
いやそういうわけにはいかない今車を呼ぶから僕も一緒に
私が送りましょう。
Oh, hold on. Ladies! We can share her, man.
うん
彼女を神楽坂まで送り届ければいいんでしょ。だったら私が自動車で送ります。
Interjected Tosuke, who had been listening to our exchange until then. No, I'm fine. A rail coach stop is straight around the corner.
自動車の方が早いですよ。森さん、それで構いませんか？
They're gay! They're gay! Yeah, they're so gay for each other.
うん僕としてはその方が安心ではあるが
では決まりですね。少し待っていてください。
The thing is, before I could stop him, Tosuke walked off quickly in the direction of the university.
相変わらず簡潔だね彼
As he looked off behind him, Mr. Old Guy gave a wry smile.
まあ安心しなさい岩崎君は責任感の強い男だそれに身元もしっかりしている
What the fuck are you talking about?
あの福沢先生が目をかけているくらいの人物だからね
Professor Fukuzawa? Professor Fukuzawa is the man who was in the tatami room yesterday, right? He was at the center of a banquet where educators had gathered. He was called professor by many people and they appeared to admire him.
いかにも慶応義塾の創立者でもありかの有名な学問の勧めを執筆した福沢諭吉先生だ
Okay, so he's like the founder. I had felt a vague sense of familiarity there. I felt that this had finally found concrete form. Wow, really is a 10,000 yen bill. It still did not quite ring true that I was in the same age as people like that.
狭いですが。
Okay, okay. Excuse me. Sometime later, Tosuke returned to the riverbank in the car. Once in the car, the engine started and the car drove gently along the river with the setting sun shining through. What a cute retro tree here. This is quite modern in this age, thank you. The steering wheel was much simpler than of modern cars, but its foreign design was still eye-catching. I find it quite exciting the first time I rode in a rickshaw, but this was even more so.
どうしました？
No, I was just thinking. It was kind of strange. Horses and cars driving on the same road. He's fucking confused. Like, what do you mean? They've always existed in this at the same time. What do you mean? How else are they supposed to drive? On separate roads? Never. Impossible. Who would ever think that? Oh, and thank you very much for earlier. I'm sorry you had to help me out again.
今日はなぜ河原に？
What brings you to the river today? I was invited to attend Mr. Olgai's class and I was on my way home.
森さんの授業にあなたを？さすがですね、あの人は。
Tosuke's eyes widened as he mumbled in surprise.
森さんの担当は確か心理学でしたか？
Yes.
では、不思議に思いませんでしたか？なぜ塾生たちは講師のことを先生と呼ばないのかと。
Now that you mention it, that's right. It's not Professor Mori, but Mr. Mori.
それこそが塾の美風とされている習慣なんです。福沢先生は身分制度や上下関係といったしがらみを何より嫌う人ですから、学内では継承も平等です。もっともさすがに福沢先生だけは特別に先生と呼ばれていますが。
What? As you would expect from someone from the 10,000 yen bill. Should we be weird? Let's confuse him, guys. Let's fucking confuse him. They are not so likely to stay in your wallet, which makes them all the more precious.
1万円札。
Tosuke-san repeated my words with mysterious look on his face, as if casting my mysterious spell. No, really, it's nothing. I was just thinking I should be grateful to him.
ありがたいかどうかは分かりませんが、先生の思想を支持する人が多いのは確かでしょうね。
Tosuke replied calmly, as if he were speaking of a third party. Come to think of it, why were you at the riverbank yourself? When I asked this casually, a short silence descended.
特に理由はありませんよ。ただ川を見ていただけです。
Sure, let's go with that. So you like the river?
ええ。昔は好きでした。
And you don't like it now. Used to? I understood he was saying that he dislikes the river now. I was not sure how to respond, but Tosuke quickly brought back his smile and said,
生まれが川のそばだったんです。幼い頃は兄弟たちとよく河原で遊んだものでした。それを思い出して、仕事の休憩がてら散歩に来たというわけです。
Oh, is that right? His expression seemed casual from his side profile. It was gentlemanly but cold at the same time. As ever, he was a person for whom it was hard to judge the distance.
お嬢さんはどちらの生まれなんですか？
Well, I don't remember. I mean, this was the most troubling type of question. If the other party was a drunk customer, I could gloss over things quite easily.
覚えていない？
Yes, it's kind of weird to say, but I don't have any memories of that. I explained the details of how I arrived from Kagurazaka from the Rokumenkan, just as I had conveyed to Otayoko before. How I found myself in Hibiya Park, and how I went to Rokumenkan with a mysterious magician. It was directly after this that I met Tosuke-san for the first time. Why was I near the river? Just no particular reason. No. There was no reason whatsoever. It's definitely not a traumatic backstory that we're not gonna allude to until we're not gonna find out about until later in the game. It was directly after that I met Tosuke-san for the first time. At the time, I never imagined that I would be riding in this car like this.
なるほど。
When he had finished listening to my story, Tosuke nodded with a blank expression.
それで警察には行かれたんですか？
Oh, no, I've not been yet.
なぜです？
If your identity is uncertain, I would have thought that is the first place you should go. That is a problem. I'm from the modern age, so it's pointless for me to go to the policeman. I could never say this. Well, that's true, but I've met a scary police officer at the Morokumenkan, so So I'm a bit afraid of it. Got it.
話を聞いた限り
From what I've heard, this is a big deal. Do you think this is the time to be afraid? You know what? I mean, from his perspective, this makes perfect sense, but...
確かに警察官は若い女性の話をまともに取り合わない傾向があります。だったら社会的信用のある人間を連れて行くといい。あ、森さんはいかがですか？軍人と同伴ならさすがに警察もあなたを無下にはできないはずです。
Yeah.
必要とあらば塾の人脈に働きかけることも可能です。
Many of the graduates are now working for Mitsubishi, or the government. Yes. Normally I would jump at Tosuke's proposal. If I had just lost my memory, then surely that's what I would have done. But I can't do that. This was like confessing that there's a reason you can't go to the police. Oh, by the way, something smells sweet. With this forceful digression, Tosuke stopped making further suggestions and glanced at the back of the car.
チョコレート
It might be. Of course, this fuck would have plenty. So you like chocolate? You had some at your lab too.
糖分で脳を活性化させるために摂取しています。常に手元にあれば食事をする時間がない時も重宝しますし。
Sure, that's why. That's exactly why. He's like a businessman with his work. It seemed to be what many people was an expensive luxury item. This person was just a source of energy. Taste was secondary. Efficiency came first. Like a machine. I wondered if Tosuke's criteria for judgment was rational or not. In any case, I tried not to talk about anything more than I needed to. I might be found out if I did. Thank you so much for bringing me all this way. Arriving at the Kagurazaka, I got out of the car and thanked Tosuke.
本当にここでいいんですか？沖山でお送りしますが。
No, it's just around the corner, so don't worry. If you take me back to Nokia in such a fine vehicle, the ladies might wonder what's going on. Tosuke leaned against the door and looked at me with his arms crossed.
そういえばあなたは確か音。
おやあんた帰ってきたの。
A familiar voice approached me from the top of the hill. Ah, Otayoko.
へえ、結構早かったね。森先生ったら意外と紳士じゃないか。あの御人、授業の見学とかなんとか理由つけてさ、てっきりあんたを朝まで返さないつもりかと。
I wouldn't be surprised.
こんばんは。
When Otayoko had approached the car, he noticed Tosuke. He raised his voice and jumped back about a meter.
岩崎、なんであんたここに？
ああ、やっぱり君でしたか。
Tosuke-san nodded as if somewhat satisfied, and smiled.
お久しぶりです。お元気でしたか？川上音次郎くん。
Oh boy.
バカ。
ちょっと岩崎の旦那が来てるって本当かい？本当だよ。神楽坂で遊ぶなんて珍しい。
ちょっとあんたたち、口動かしてる暇があるなら手動かしな。
はーい。
He got caught.
どうい
Otayoko-san, or rather Otojiro, blurted out in a small voice as he slammed the sliding door shut. I held the sake bottle and looked up vaguely at his slender height. Fuck my eyes.
何ボケっとしてんだよ。客が待ってんだろうが。
Hey, what are you My eye. I've been staring at the screen for too long. I came back to myself and hurriedly poured sake into Tosuke's cup. And there goes my reading ability. He really is a man. His voice and physique. The more I thought about it, the more I realized he was a man. And we're only realizing this now. Why hadn't I realized it despite living with him for so many days? Suppose he did a really good job of covering that up. I was shocked to hear that he was a man, but to be honest, it hadn't really come home to me because he was too beautiful. No matter how roughly he spoke, it was still Otayoko who was in front of me.
そりゃ黙ってたのは悪いと思ってるけどよ。そんなに怖がらなくてもいいじゃねえか。
I know! Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Hold on, let me... I just need to pull up something real quick. I realize I haven't been watching the stream stats very well. Alright, we're good. Not scared.
じゃあなんだよ。
No, it's just... I was instantly reminded of the past few days. Being under the assumption that the room owner was a woman, I had changed my clothes in front of him without any hesitation. In addition, I think I am a very bad sleeper, so there must have been at least once or twice that my yukata came undone and I exposed myself. Oh, god damn it, girl, please.
だからなんなんだよ、赤。
Why are you turning red and blue?
い
For the record, I never tricked you. No, it was only the proprietress of the Okiya who knows that I am a man.
もともとお上は俺の舞台の観客でよ。俺の女型を見て、こりゃ人気芸者になるに違いないってあっちから声かけてきたんだ。
But you never said anything! Really?
ああ、冗談みてえな話だけどな。お上に言わせりゃ、男だろうが女だろうが、稼いでくれりゃどっちでもいいんだと。
As you would expect of a proprietress. It was what we called scouting today. As it turns out, the proprietress was not wrong in her reading of the situation.
ああ、そういやあんたも見に来てくれたよな、岩崎の旦那。
ええ、確か佐賀暴動記でしたが、とても興味深い舞台でした。
When Otojiro stared at him, Tosuke, who had been drinking, smiled softly.
はっ、涼しい顔しやがって。誰かさんが余計なこと言わなけりゃ、こんな風に言い訳がましく説明しなくて済んだっていうのによ。
If someone hadn't said something necessary, I wouldn't have to make excuses like this.
それは失礼。事情を知らなかったもので。
へえ、どうだかな。
Sure, you definitely didn't understand the situation. Otojiro glared at him lightly, but Tosuke continued drinking at his own pace. He is the king of not giving a shit. He is the king of not giving a damn. Honestly, I'm here for it. It's iconic. So the two of you knew each other.
ああ、知り合いっつうかなんつうか。
音次郎くんは私の先輩です。
Okay. What? In his response to my surprised look, Otojiro shook his head with a bitter look on his face.
そんな大層なもんじゃねえだろうが。あんたは塾生だったが、俺はただの学木だ。
同じ師の下で修学したなら、意味は同じでしょ
う。同じなもんかよ。そもそもあんたが入塾したのは俺よりずっと後じゃねえか。あんたが舞台を見に来てくれるまではろくに面識もなかったんだ。先輩なんて呼ばれる義理はねえよ。
Saying this, Otojiro waved his hand in a flutter. Excuse me, what do you mean by working student? It was a term not used very much in the modern age, but when I asked this, he said,
要は先生の駒使いってことだ。俺の場合、塾の寄宿舎で下働きしながら勉強させてもらってたんだよ。
Okay.
まあ、すぐに破門されちまったけどな。
Excommunicated?
塾では有名な話です。
Why is this so far back? Okay.
かの人気役者川上音次郎はかつて塾生から小遣い銭を受け取って門限破りに協力し塾から放逐されたことがある。
Bruh. What?
仕方ねえだろうが、こっちは一旗あげるために金が必要だったんだからよ。上京したての俺を拾ってくれた福沢先生には感謝してる。だが所詮俺みてえな根なし草が収まる場所じゃなかったってことだ。
Otojiro shrugged his shoulders and said somewhat defiantly. Speaking of which, yesterday, at the banquet attended by the educators, it seemed to me that Otojiro was looking rather awkward. That was because Professor Fukuzawa was present.
ってそんな話はどうでもいいんだよ。お前結局どうすんだ？
Well, I'm definitely not changing in front of you for now on. And to do.
俺が男だって分かっちまったらお前も何かとやりづらいだろう。部屋を移りたいならお上に頼んでやってもいいぜ。
No, not at all. I'm just grateful for you for letting me stay. Otojiro, thinking about my feelings, had continued on as Otoyako. I felt from the bottom of my heart how lucky I was that he picked me up.
俺はどっちだって構わねえ。まあ移るにしても運よく部屋の空きがあればの話だが。それともここにいるお大臣に身請けでもしてもらうかい？ねえ、旦那。
I'm sorry? Otojiro flirtatiously leaned on Tosuke as in its uniform and its leaned on Tosuke in his usual form as Otoyako. It was a special technique that was likely to cause men to fall in love, but Tosuke's face did not change even a flicker at this joke.
いいですよ。
I'm sorry?
は？
こうなってしまった。
I'm partly responsible for this turn of events after all.
私のところに来ますか、お嬢さん。
don't fucking look at her like that, you freak. His direct gaze startled me. Tosuke, what the fuck are you talking about? Flustered, I shook my head, so unnerved that I almost dropped the sake cup.
あんたが言うと冗談に聞こえねえからタチが悪いぜ。別にあんたがどこでどう遊ぼうが自由だけどよ。福沢先生を泣かせるのは俺だけにしといた方がいいんじゃねえか。
ごもっともです。
Tosuke gave a small laugh and drank up the rest of his alcohol. I was startled. I was ashamed myself for getting upset over what I knew was probably just a lighthearted remark made over drinks. I thought I had gotten used to this job at tatami room, but I guess I was still a work in progress. An hour later, the banquet was over, and so I went outside to see Tosuke off.
今夜は急に立ち寄ってしまってすみませんでした。
Yes, I am very obligated for you for all the kindness you have shown me. Judging from the appearance of the Rote proprietress, it seemed safe to say that Tosuke had paid for far above the normal rates. And he was not drunk at all despite having had so much to drink. Tosuke had not changed a jot from when he started drinking to now. His tie and shirt were crisp. Holy shit, I wish I had that skill. This must be what they mean when people talk with customers who know how to behave in a dignified manner.
これまで神楽坂に足を運ぶ機会はあまりなかったんですが、なかなかいい街ですね。
As he said this, Tosuke looked at the streets lit by the lanterns. People passed by the hill with the sound of shamisen in the background. The red torii gates of the shrine blended in mysteriously with the with the light from the windows in front of a row of stores. At first, I thought it was the scary town which there were only adults, but now I feel a little more at ease being immersed in the motion of the place. Yes, I think it's a nice town too. Do you normally go to the Shinbashi and the Nihonbashi areas?
ええ、銀行や株屋の人間と会う機会が多いもので、自然とそのあたりが接待の場になりますね。
Okay.
株屋町と呼ばれるあたりはご存知ですか？東京株式取引所がある兜町です。
Come to think of it, I had heard about it from Otojiro. He was not sure of the details, but it seemed that Tosuke had done very well in the stock market. The Tokyo Stock Exchange is the place where the electric bulletin board rotated around, right?
Hmm?
We're saying something weird again! Ah, no, sorry. I was thinking of somewhere else. There was the obvious no such thing in this day and age. When I tried to cover it up with a quick laugh, he asked.
電光掲示板?
He had caught it. Ah, shit. We're down. We've been caught, guys! Chat, we've been caught!
その電光掲示板とはどのようなものなんですか？非常に気になる名称ですね。
Tosuke crossed his arms and eyes seemed serious. He seemed to have no intention of letting it go. Well, that is... I feel like he's smart enough to know if we lie, so... I think I still have to explain it more carefully. I was sure that Tosuke was was a man who would never retreat until he was satisfied. He could not brush things aside. So an electric bulletin board is a bulletin board that displays text that glows with electricity.
電気で光る文字?
It's small aggregates of lights become letters. I mean, I thought that having something would be like that would be very convenient.
なるほど。電球を小型化するわけですね。それなら遠くからでもよく見える。費用対効果の面さえ解決できれば、とても有用な案だと思います。
Now, okay, we pulled that off somehow. She does that so often. Like, hey, do you know about that thing from Modern Era? She does that too often. Like, at this point, if she gets caught, it's her fault. It's her own fault for keep bringing it up. Despite my stuttering explanation, Tosuke did not mock me and seemed to give it serious consideration. He gave a rather cold expression, but he may be surprisingly flexible.
しかし、あなたの発言は何かと興味深い。世間知らずのようでいて、時に見聞の広さも感じさせる。
No, we're just pulling shit out of her ass. We're just saying things we've seen in the future, man. Don't give her too much credit.
その上6名間に忍び込んだり暴れ馬を乗りこなしたりする胆力もある。
Look, it wasn't rampaging. It wasn't rampaging when she first got on it, okay? Guess it's hard to say I actually wrote it. I somehow managed to avoid getting thrown off, but it hardly showed me in my best light.
それに、あなたは
Tosuke continued in a somewhat bitter voice.
玉寄りでもある。
I don't know. What is that? What is that? I remembered this gaze. It was the gaze I had felt when I was on the verge of leaving Tosuke's lab. Kyoka's rabbit had suddenly appeared and I had been surprised. At that time, I didn't know it was a Mononoke, and I had merely been startled. But for some reason, Tosuke beside me had the same expression then that he had now, that had always stuck with me. Could it be? I suddenly thought, maybe Tosuke is also?
Oh!
Well, if it isn't Mr. Iwasaki! My thoughts were cut off by a voice. A man in a kimono had suddenly stopped in front of us.
ちょうどあんたにまたお目通り願おうと思ってたところだ。お天道様も粋な計らいするもんだぜ。
Oh god. This person seemed to know Tosuke, but the main thing was that Tosuke was looking down at him without smiling.
しかし、神楽坂で芸者遊びとはさすが兜町の麒麟児だ。安酒場で管巻いてる俺たちとは格が違う。なあ。
酒場は管を巻く場所ではなく、情報収集をする場ですよ。一時の憂さ晴らしのために小銭を失うのはバカバカしい。私ならその分を種銭に回し、登記を待ちます。
Okay. Go off, King. Tell him off.
お嬢さん、もう座敷に戻っていいですよ。
Tosuke whispered casually.
私は彼と少し話をしてから帰りますので。では、また来ます。
Tosuke. As Tosuke walked away, the man chuckled and followed him. When I tried to follow suit, the door to the store rattled open.
何やってるのさ。見送りが済んだら早く座敷に戻りな。
Yes, sure, yeah. Like, we'll do it. It's fine, guys. It's fine. 10th day. I hope Tosuke's okay. I thought about things absent-mindedly while wiping the tatami mats in my room. 3 days had passed since we had parted in front of the Ryote, and I haven't seen Tosuke since then. But he has said that he would rarely come to Kagurazaka, so it's reasonable that we had not met. We were people who were unlikely to be in the same circles. Like many of the customers, there was a good chance that we would never meet. I was startled by a noise. The window opened suddenly, and someone climbed over the parapet and entered the room.
窓が開いてて助かったぜ。
Otojiro, what the fuck?
静かにしろって。隣に聞こえるだろうが。
Otojiro put his index finger to his lips and quickly closed the window. In doing this, the smell of alcohol immediately filled the room. I knew that when you returned in the morning, you can't come in through the front door looking like this, but this made him appear like a thief.
いやあ、悪いな。ついつい劇団の連中と飲みすぎちまってよ。なんせ次の公演は泉鏡花大先生の書き下ろしだ。めでたいのなんのってな。
Okay. Even though Otojiro had told me to keep quiet, he laughed and loosened his tie, seemingly in a good mood. When he does that, he is unmistakably male. I was truly impressed how he was able to switch between the two, and how you were not realizing this earlier. Is Kyoko writing a play?
ああ、あいつがどうしてもって言うからよ。俺の女型を見て、こうパーッと構想が広がったんじゃねえか。たく、罪作りだよな、俺って女はよ。
Well, yes, you are. As far as artists are concerned, I guess it's natural to feel a tingle of creativity when confronted with something beautiful. I'd like to see Otojiro on stage, but by that time, I will already be back in the modern age.
ああ、そういやお前、あれから岩崎とはどうなってんだ？
Why are you saying like that like there's something going on between us? Eh? Being suddenly questioned about this, I was not sure how to respond. This is what you guys do in your spare time. You climb through windows. Nah, man. You can't be doing that. I haven't seen him since in the tatami room for some time.
はあ、ま、いいけどよ。
Otojiro laid down on the floor and looked at me as if he wanted to say something. What the fuck do you want?
お前、まさかとは思うけどよ。 岩崎に見受けされようとか考えてねえだろうな。
Why would we think that? Yeah, what are you saying?
いや、俺はお前が決めたことなら口出しはしねえけどさ。そりゃあいつなら不自由はさせねえだろうが、俺はお前にはこう囲われる生活じゃなくてだな。
What are you talking about? It was a joke. It would never happen, would it? Otojiro should know that it was a light-hearted joke remark about made-over drinks. Why would he say such a thing?
そりゃ俺だって酔っ払いのザレ言なんざ真に受けちゃいねえ。ただ、お前をこの道に引きずり込んだ俺が言うのもなんだけどよ。もっとまっとうな幸せ掴んでもらいたいっつうか。ああ、くそ。なんで俺がこんな父親みてえなこと言わなきゃならねえんだ。
I'm so cool. Otojiro scratched his head forcefully and pulled the futon in a folded position. Otojiro?
寝る。日が暮れたら。
Okay. Saying this, he buried himself in his futon and poked his head out as if remembering something.
あと悪いが、使いを頼まれてくれねえか。おしろいの買い置きがなくなっちまったんだ。
Yeah, sure. Where should I get it from?
できれば柳屋のおしろいがいいんだけどよ。お前、日本橋の方わかるか？
Nihonbashi. Otojiro pulled out his wallet from his pocket and tossed it to me. I'm pretty sure that it was where the Tokyo Stock Exchange is, right?
は、妙なこと知ってんな。まあ、その近くっちゃ近くだ。あとついでに適当な茶受けでも買ってきてくれ。じゃあ、よろしく頼んだぜ。
Bruh.
いらっしゃい。リング印のタバコはいらんかね。
Fuck no, that smells like shit. After Otojiro had asked me to run some errands for him, I had come to Nihonbashi straight away. Nihonbashi was where the Tokaido highway starts, so the streets are wide and there are a lot of traffic and the area is generally lively. There are various stores on the street, including stores selling seafood brought from the canal, footwear, confectionery, and hair salons. Momojiya. What kind of store is this?
いらっしゃいいらっしゃい。はい、そこのお客さん、新鮮な肉はいらんかね。
Meat.
需要競争健康促進。塩漬けの鹿肉はどうだい？猿の肉もあるよ。
Fuck. Most of those sound so good.
おう、なんということでしょう。日本人の皆さんは猿の肉まで食してしまうのですか？
God, it's a foreigner! Then the man next to me raised his voice as if to speak on my behalf.
そりゃそうさ。猿、イノシシ、キジ、鹿。山にあるものは何でも食べちまうよ。
わお、ファンタスティック！これが噂の薬食いという文化ですね。
You mean drug eating culture?
その通り。ここにあるのは全部薬さ。さあ、買った買った。
The waitresses were very lively and they worked deftly at the front store to cut up the meat of the beasts. As I watched her handiwork with admiration, the man next to me suddenly looked at me.
Oh yeah.
You are. My eyes met those of the man. In that instant, I raised my voice with an ah. I believe we met at the Rokumenkan.
Yes! 小泉八雲です。やはりあの時の娘さんでいらっしゃいましたか。
Flamboyant man. Okay. That's right. Yakumo Koizumi. I remembered vividly how, for some reason, he had told ghost stories endlessly at the Rokumenkan.
こんなところで再会するとは、なんというラッキーハプニングでしょう。ディスティニーを感じてしまいますね。Karen the Japanese girl、あなたのお名前を伺っても？
My name is Yakuki.
おう、実にキュートなお名前です。娘さんは今日はショッピングですか？
Yes, I was asked to run an errand for somebody. This is my first time at Nihonbashi, and there are really all kinds of stores, aren't there? I looked up at the meat hanging from the storefront. Kagurazaka is crowded with stores. It is not as diverse as this, however.
日本橋は日本の中心と言ってもいい場所ですので、水路を活用して多くの物資が届きます。ここに並べられたジビエもそうです。何せ百獣屋と書いてモモンジ屋と読ませるくらいですからね。
This guy's very interesting. So that's what Momoji Shia meant. That means this is like the safari park of the meat world. I seem to remember that Yakumo was a university teacher. Maybe that's why he was so knowledgeable. Are you shopping as well, Yakumo-san?
No, no! 本日は私、フィールドワークにやってまいりました。
Kind of field work can you do in the fucking marketplace? Yakumo gently raised the frames of his glasses and continued on with a serious gaze.
実は最近、この近くの水辺で女の姿をしたもののけが出没するとの情報をよく耳にするのですよ。
Oh? A female mononoke?
Yes! もののけファンクラブ会長を自負する私としては、是が非でも真相を突き止めなければなりません。というわけで、目撃情報の多い荒川から隅田川を中心に日々調査を続けているのです。
Okay, my dude.
私の見立てでは、おそらくヤマタノオロチの化身か濡れ女ではないかと睨んでいるのです。
Oh, really? Yakumo seemed to have an extraordinary interest in Mononoke, and seemed to have been caught in the momentum. Come to think of it, I remembered the first night that I came to this age. Just before meeting Tosuke, I thought I saw a woman giving off a strange vibe under a willow tree. I thought I heard a sobbing sound, but the person soon disappeared. I'm pretty sure that was near a trench. But if you ask me whether it was a mononoke or not, it was none of my business. It's not like its neck grew long and thin or its mouth split open.
いかがされましたか、ムス?
No, we're fine. We don't have a single thought in this brain. Not a single thought. Whatever it was impossible to discern it now. Thank you so much for taking the trouble. Thank you so much. After that, Yakumo was kind enough to take me to a cosmetic store called Yanagiya. After buying the white powder I was looking for, I thanked Yakumo again.
No problem です。これくらいお安いご用ですよ。ぜひ今度お休みの日にでも私に東京案内させてください。一日中ゆっくりとあなたをアテンドいたします。
Sure. What, are you sure?
Of course! どこか行きたいところはありますか？私のおすすめは雑司ヶ谷秀町墓地、それと青山墓地ですが。
Of course you would suggest a cemetery. I feel like this guy would be obsessed with like shit like Stranger Things. They're both cemeteries. I'd expected him to recommend Asakusa or Ueno, and I could not hide my bewilderment at his unexpected recommendation of a cemetery. I mean, like, is it really unexpected based on on his interests? But perhaps cemeteries of the Meiji period were considered major tourist attractions. That would be nice, thank you.
よろしいのですか？楽しみですね。あなたと二人でさまよう真夜中の青山、漂うムードがロマンティック間違いなしです。
I love the way he speaks, it's so funny. Aoyama was a fashionable town, but why do I not get a romantic premonition?
それでは私はこれから帝国大学に向かいますので、ここで失礼いたします。See you.
Yes, take care. Yakumo stepped Yakumo stopped the rickshaw and entered it rapidly and dashed off. That's what a woman wants to hear. Let me take you to multiple cemeteries for no... I didn't even think about that, honestly. Like, he could easily just, like, kill her and, like, bury her in a cemetery, and no one would bat an eye. Like, who would look for her? The part where he threw kisses, he would have completely exposed him as a foreigner. He's a little odd, but he seems like a good person. Right, I'll just buy the Chasuke and go home. I was just wondering if there was a reasonably priced confectionery store near here when a sign for confectionery Fugetsudo caught my eye. It seemed like they had not only Japanese sweets, but Western sweets as well, and advertisements for bonbons and biscuits were posted on the wall. New product. Boar's Mouse aging candy? What could that be?
いらっしゃいませ。何かお探しですか?
Ah, yes.
よろしければ、こちらのチョコレートなどいかがです?
Saying this, the clerk pointed to the shelf marked new product, Boar's Mouth aging candy. Maybe this is a new type of chocolate? Alone, I chapped my hands. The characters spelled out the phonetic sounds for the word chocolate. At the same time, Tosuke's face came to mind. That's right. I need to thank him for the other day. Not only had he rescued me when I nearly fell off a horse, but he also gave me a lift in his car. And I even stopped by the tatami room later. I need to thank him properly. I'm sure he would really appreciate a gift of chocolate, but would it be a nuisance to barge my way into Mita again? Even before I reached that stage, a problem with the price of chocolates. Fearfully, I pointed to the smallest box. How much is that one?
こちらの一番小さいものですと、10銭になります。
10 cents? 10 cents was a price that was enough to buy 10 or more daifuku. For that much, I could eat 2 bowls of beef hot pot. Sorry, I'll have to take the daifuku after all.
はい、ありがとうございます。ただいまお包みしますね。
I quickly gave up on the chocolate and for the time being decided to buy daifuku for the chasuke I had received a request for. It would be a little difficult given my pocket money.
こんばんは、お嬢さん。
Holy shit, he's here! That night, I brought Sake to the tatami room, and I opened the sliding door. I left a stupid voice.
ほら。まったく。
He requested us? Damn. We are not giving off the best impression, are we? Request. As the proprietress left the tatami room, Tosuke smiled at me.
先日は慌ただしく失礼してしまってすみませんでした。
No, not at all. Thank you for taking the trouble to take me home. So, why are you here today? Tosuke was not alone in the private room. Oh, Tosuke was alone in the private room. It did not seem that he was here for entertainment purposes.
どうしたとは?
What do you mean? It's just that you rarely come to Kagurazaka, so... At this, Tosuke gently inclined his neck.
前回また来るとお伝え
I mean, he did... Tosuke jump scare. He appears as he's a ghost. He appears out of nowhere and then fades out into the distance without a second thought. He truly is a man who does his own thing. He did say he would be back though, so I don't know why. I suppose it's to be expected. We really cannot read him, can we? That was at least how I received it, but Tosuke really meant when he intended to come back when he said it. How polite. And he must have been drunk quite a bit. I can't believe he remembered such a minor thing. Well, I wondered if everything went alright after that. Tosuke had been caught up in some strange man that night. That had been bothering me. I suppose the fact that he was here meant that he was alright.
何か
No. I was just thinking that I should have brought you some chocolate. I needed to go to Nihonbashi for something today, and I found a Western confectionery that sold chocolate.
それは風月堂のことですか
Tosuke guessed rather too easily. His eyes were rather serious. Yes, that store. It's famous, right?
はい。風月堂は日本で初めてチョコレートを加工販売した洋菓子店だけあって、西洋の味に忠実です。
Huh.
最近は様々な店で販売するようになりましたが、その中でも風月堂のチョコレートは一線を画しています。
Tosuke said this quickly and without hesitation. It may have not been my imagination, but he appeared to be quite passionate. If the chocolate is that good, the prices must be reasonable.
ええ、確かに安くはありませんが、品質が価格に反映されていると考えれば適正でしょう。商品の良し悪しは価格ではなく、そこに矜持があるかどうかだと私は思います。
She was worried about Tosuke walking away after that other man, but I was worried thinking... I mean... Maybe. He might be alive, he might be dead. Who knows? Tosuke is the Meiji period mafia at this... Could you imagine? I nodded in agreement. There's a reason why good things are so expensive. That holds for beef as well as chocolate. Good beef cannot be produced without corporate effort. It is only natural to pay an appropriate price for it. I understand. There are only a handful of stores that are sincere in their commitment.
その通りです。中には見かけ倒しの商品で目先の利益を追う店もありますが、そういった店はすぐに淘汰されるでしょう。
This guy really gets it. Previously, Tosuke said he ate chocolate so his sugar would activate his brain. At the time, I thought that rationally speaking, the taste would be secondary, but I guess that wasn't always the case. I too get a little disappointed when I go to a moderately priced yakiniku restaurant and find that the taste of the meat is overpowered by the sauce. If that's the case, I would prefer to save my allowance and go to a restaurant where I can taste the meat properly, even if I have to spend a lot more money.
同感です。安い店なら安い素材が出てきても何ら問題はありません。ですがそれなりの店となるとそうもいかない。
He gets it, guys. He gets it. He understands that quality comes at a price.
安く仕入れて高く売るのは商売の基本ですが、消費者が満足できる取引ができなければ意味がありませんからね。
Why can't all businessmen be like him? Hot and understand business ethics. I nodded deeply. This was certainly someone who understood the feelings of a meat lover.
しかし、嬉しいものですね。
Why is that?
あなたがチョコレートを見て私を思い出してくれたことがです。
Well, that was not planned. I just thought I would get you something to thank you for giving me a ride the other day. But in the end, I didn't have enough money with me, so I couldn't buy it. I added on a whisper. Tosuke smiled lightly.
礼などいりませんよ。お酌のあなたに見返りを求めようとは思わない。
Damn. Damn. He eats sugar to activate his brain. Imagine needing something like that to have your brain work. I know, imagine. Imagine eating something. Imagine. I definitely don't need coffee to function while at work. No, not at all. I function perfectly normal without anything in assistance. The point was that there was no need for me as a menial worker to take these efforts to thank him. Without giving him anything, this person can buy as much as he wants. I understood that as well, but this is no quid pro quo. It's just an expression of my feelings. What's so funny?
音次郎君はあなたにこの世界のことを何も教えていないようですね。手元に長く置いておくつもりはないのか、それとも清いままで守りきる自信があるのか。
I don't know what you mean, sir. Tosuke quickly held out his sake cup to me.
ついでもらってもいいですか。
Okay,
お礼などと簡単に口にするものではありませんよ。
The audio changed so much for a moment there. A beautiful smile engulfed me, just being stared at like this made me feel like I was losing my strength.
こんな場でそんなことを言われたら、男は誰でもこう思うはずです。この女は俺を誘っていると。
I'm sorry? That was not my intention at all. What the fuck?
そんなつもりはない。おかしいですね。
Hi, Jeremy.
ここは花町ですよ。それともあなたは私をカフェにいる書生か何かだと思っていらっしゃる。まったく。
Oh my god, in my ear! Holy shit. Don't even know you were bargaining with me.
ここでの会話は全て男と女のやりとりだということも
Why is he whispering like this? Holy shit. It is triggering my flight or flight. Grass, that's racist. Grass, no, he can't say something like I'm fucking with you. I don't want to hear anything about you considering your favorite characters. I feel like you would have eaten him up. I thought Tosuke would be your favorite considering how much he wears suits. Tosuke.
そんな怯えた顔をしなくていいですよ。唇を噛んで睨みつけるぐらいがちょうどいい。
I know. I'm sorry. That was mean.
気の強い女の方が征服欲を刺激されます。
Tosuke, what the fuck? Tosuke's like, the more autonomy a woman's got, the more I want to crush it.
話してもいいですか。どのみちあなたはここにいるしかない。なぜなら、今は私があなたを占有していい時間だからです。
You know what? Fair enough. It's the time during him. You can't own a woman! Tosuke, what the fuck? Tosuke, what?
お分かりですか。
You bought the time slot, but you have not bought her. Weirdo.
今夜一晩、あなたは私のものです。何をしても自由。私にはその権利がある。
No, you don't.
優しくされたければ。怖いですか？
Yes? What the fuck? What route have I fallen myself into?
あなたのような無力な女性が、たちの悪い男に目をつけられて身を持ち崩す。よくある話です。それが嫌なら、What
the fuck? Then suddenly my wrists were free and I felt lighter.
さあどうぞ。あなたが助けを求めればきっと音次郎くんは駆けつけてくれるでしょうから。
You know what? True, he's not blonde. But I feel like just a color tool, just like some hair dye, and he would absolutely be your type. He's crazy. It is being revealed that he's actually batshit insane. Then he smiled dismissively while I lightly adjusted the hem of my kimono. Yeah, I wonder why! It's because of you suddenly doing such unexpected things.
誤解されては困る。あなたの誘いに応じたまでです。
I'm sorry? Tosuke replied coolly, shrugging his shoulders. I quickly stood up in disbelief. I told you I didn't give you any invitation.
ではそういうことにしておきましょう。
We don't have to suppose anything. This is what happened.
ええ、構いませんよ。女性に恥をかかせるのは本意ではありませんから。
You're a freak! I knew it! You're a freak! Tosuke drank up the sake he had poured himself. I'd been so embarrassed and frustrated that I forgot to pour his drink and clenched my fists. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? I was obviously scared that he would do something like that again. But he probably felt the need to tease me as we were But he probably only felt the need to tease me as we were in the tatami room.
おや、助けを呼びに行かないんですか?
No, I won't. Because fuck you, I can protect myself. As you said, I have to be here tonight. As I half-heartedly retorted, Tosuke stopped drinking the alcohol.
ああ、あれは嘘です。
What?
これを飲んだら帰ります。とても名残惜しいですが、明日は早いので。
She's fucking crazy. He tricked me. On being told that he had bought my time, I had really thought this landlady had sold me out, and this had secretly been a shock.
お礼のことならお気になさらず。ただあなたがどうしてもというのなら、次回でもいいですよ。
I'd rather not now. No, I will not be expressing my thanks.
では、また来ます。
Tosuke stood up quickly after bowing with a slight smile, and he had left the room.
らったったと、ほら、おとやっこ様のお帰りだよ。あっと。
Welcome home.
なんだ、座敷わらしが出たと思ったらお前かよ。ったく、明かりもつけないで何やってんだ。
I was counting the grains in the tatami mat.
あ?
For some reason, I was wide awake, so I thought that if I counted the grains in the tatami, I might start getting sleepy.
そこは普通、羊の数じゃねえのか？怖すぎるだろう。
That night, Otojiro came home very late. When I knew he was going to be home late, I went to bed first. For some reason, though, I could not fall asleep.
それにしても今日は疲れたぜ。紅葉先生の宴会が長引いちまってよ。
Otojiro lit the lanterns and sat down in front of me as I sat down in my haunches in the center of the room.
京香ちゃんが酔っ払って大変だったぜ。あの野郎、月までウサギに会いに行くとか言って急に庭に飛び出しやがってさ。そのまま庭の池にドボンだ。水面に映った月に飛び込んでどうするんだってな。
Sounded like fun. Yeah, sounds much more fun than dealing with a crazy man. But as a germaphobe, I'm sure it would not have been much fun at all for Kyoka. I wish I could have been seated at the same table as you.
Huh?
Mumbling something, Otojiro peered into my face. I mean, yeah. Like, what the fuck was that?
どうした？なんかあったか？あ、岩崎が来たのか？まさかまた身請けがどうとか。
No, Tosuke came, but that was not what it was about. That wasn't it, but I might not be so keen on that guy after all. I just wanted to relieve myself of what scared me. I wanted to voice my complaints and feel refreshed. But I swallowed the words that were coming out of my throat. What would be the point of complaining? Otojiro and that man are friends.
なあ、どうしたんだよ。お前、まさかあいつと。
No, no, what the... No, there was nothing like that. That would never happen. No, never ever. Yeah, that would never happen. When I denied this in a panic, Otojiro was about to get up, sat down again, as if he was deflated.
ああ、ならいいけどよ。俺たちは吉原の女じゃねえんだ。客の言いなりになる必要なんざねえからな。そりゃ多少は我慢しなきゃならねえこともあるだろうが、本気で身の危険を感じたらでかい声で助けを呼ぶんだぞ。いいな。
That's what Tosuke told me too.
あ、そうか？客のくせに変なやつだな。
He definitely was a strange guy. He pursued me off his own back, then told me to pursue me off his own back and then tell me to call for help. I panicked at the time, and all I could think was that he was teasing me. I was frustrated and thought he was rude. At the same time, I may have been the rude one. Now that I cooled— No, girl! What the do you mean you were the rude one? This was one of the leading entertainment districts in Tokyo. It's not somewhere you can just swan around like a waitress. But I might have been treating it like a casual part-time job. After all, I was only working for a month. Tosuke saw right through me. And the fact that I always relied on Otojiro to protect me too. I couldn't afford to be naive working this district.
おい、何があったか知らねえが、いちいち落ち込んでたら身が持たねえぞ。
Otojiro gave a big yawn and rolled over, and lay down on the futon.
それとも、もうやめるか。
I won't quit. I don't want to quit. I replied, shaking my head. I don't want to throw away my job and disappoint Otojiro. I will put everything into my work again from tomorrow.
真面目だよな、お前は。たまには憂さ晴らしに酒飲んで暴れてもいいんだぜ。
I can't drink, so... This was an age where there were no age restrictions on alcohol or cigarettes, but that didn't mean I want to actively seek them out and try them. Why not, girl? Don't go crazy. Girl, go crazy. Drink yourself into oblivion.
酒にも逃げられないんじゃ仕方ねえ。
For legal reasons,
さっ
that
さ
it's a
と寝
joke.
ちまうしかねえよな。
She thought she was the rude one? Maybe I'm the rude one who might have grabbed my wrist and whispered. Literally! She was not being rude, he was being weird! Yeah, maybe she was naive, but literally there was never an issue up until now. Otojiro put out the lantern. The room was enveloped in soft darkness.
しかし、奴がまた神楽坂に来るとはな。どういう風の吹き回しなんだか。お前、気をつけろよ。新橋あたりの芸者たちが、私の客を返せって殴り込みに来るかもしれねえぞ。
If that comes after, we'll just duck and swing back. Like, pow, pow. We gotta fight back. I'm not afraid to rough up a bitch. Stop messing around.
冗談なんかじゃねえよ。あいつは何かと目立つ男だからな。ま、俺ほどじゃねえが。目立つってのは良くも悪くもいろんなもんを引き寄せちまう。何にせよ気をつけろ。
Sure, sure. My body swayed and sank into depths of sleep. Girl, what?
お姉ちゃん、何ブツブツ言ってるの？
Because look, there's something over there.
何もいないよ。
What? There is. I can hear it.
もう、お姉ちゃんまた一人で変なこと言ってる。
Even though I can really hear it. It's true though. Okay, what the fuck was that? When I opened my eyelids, a pattern on the ceiling came into my field of vision. I slowly got up and rubbed my eyes. I had a weird dream. That was a fucking weird ass dream. Huh, Otojiro's not here. After a heavy drunken night, Otojiro was usually sound asleep even after breakfast time, but unusually this morning there was no sign of him next to me. As I wondered what was going on, I heard there was some buzzing outside. What? I opened the shoji paper doors to look outside and someone came running down the hallway at a tremendous speed. Then, the sliding door opened and out of breath Otojiro appeared.
Oi, 火事だ火事! 裏の屋敷が燃えてるぞ!
Oh boy, fun!
聞いたかね、前田邸の火事の原因。
ええ、何でも漏電だったそうで。
消防組の到着が早かったおかげで全焼は免れたようだがね。
電気を引いたばかりだというのに、こんなことになるとは。
I mean, who's to say that the sister's always there, you know? It could be dead. We could be a traditional everyone in our family is dead type of otome protagonist. All day long, everyone was talking about the fire that occurred that morning. Rumors seemed to have reached all quarters, and the topic also came up in the second annual gathering of educational professionals that evening.
霞が関の国会議事堂が全焼した件も政府委員室の天井からの漏電が原因だと聞いております。このままでは
Things continue like this, Rokumeika and the Imperial Hotel will surely follow the same path. If that happens, the loss to our country will be incalculable.
ああ、やはりエレキテルは危険だ。迂闊に使用するものではない。
それこそ初めて電気が我が国に持ち込まれた当時はバテレンの妖術だなどと恐れられたと聞きますが。
Electricity is sorcery. I suppose back in the day that's how it would be viewed. As I was pouring the drinks, I listened to the story with mixed feelings. People in this day and age were still skeptical about electricity. The fire at the National Diet Building, which had been caused by an electrical leakage of some kind, seemed to have instilled fear about electricity in people.
しかし学者のジオスコリデスは2065年には電気の力で夜が昼間のように明るくなると説いた。
It's a bit earlier than that, but basically, yeah.
僕は2065年を待つまでもなく近いうちにそうなるのではないかと思うがね。科学の進歩は誰に止められるものでもない。
森君、それは新未来期の話だろう。所詮は空想小説の域に過ぎない予測だ。
空想が現実に追いつこうとしているのだよ。事実、それを実行している者が我々の身近にもいる。なあ、コリスちゃん。
He's still fucking calling us that. Eh? That's how it's gonna be, isn't it? We'll get a bunch of memories with friends and family. Like, all your family. Exactly! Everyone. It's just gonna be like. Everyone. Our last memory is gonna be like, actually, all of this is a lie. We killed all your family and your friends. You might as well just stay here forever. There's nothing for you over there. And then we're gonna be like, oh man, and stay here. Just as I was about to stand up, with the empty sake bottles, Mr. Old Guy turned to me.
お前は岩崎くんの研究についてよく知っているのだろう？
I wouldn't say that. No, not really. I just visited the lab. It's not the case that I am particularly knowledgeable about it.
ああ、君かい。岩崎くんの妹さんというのは。
Oh boy, let's spread here. Upon hearing those words, everyone's gaze suddenly turned to me. I had completely forgotten I had recently infiltrated the Keio University under the guise of being Tosuke's younger sister.
妹？
I mean, no, I mean, there's a deeper reason for this.
噂には聞いていましたが、この方が岩崎さんの妹さんですか。
しかしなぜこんなところで働いているのやら。
Oh boy.
彼は昨今、兜町の
Referred to the prodigy of Kabuto-cho, and for him to still make his sister work in the attempt to aim at district. This has all gone wrong. Because I ran my mouth unnecessarily, a delicate atmosphere had been immediately enveloped us. But it was too late to say I was not his sister. If I was not his sister, what was I? That was the direction the destruction would turn. But if this continues, Tosuke may be misinterpreted to his disadvantage. Knowing this, I had to do something. I desperately searched for the right words as Mr. Old Guy looked at me with his arms crossed.
だがお酌という職業も悪くない選択だ。何せ作法を身につけながら給金も得られるのだからね。まさに一石二鳥というやつだろう。
Mr. Old Guy, he's saving our ass! Thank God! Thank you, weird squirrel man!
可愛い子には旅をさせよ。の方針は僕も賛成だ。人生において無駄な経験など何一つないはずだからね。
Let the pretty girl travel. Okay. Okay. Whatever. If it gets us out of the situation, I guess. Sure, let's go with that. He had his usual graceful smile on his face as he spoke casually. Whether or not he understood that I was upset was uncertain, but his words were like magic to me and eased my load. I'm sure he's just giving me a helpful hand. I'm sure that Mr. Old Guy is aware that I'm not Tosuke's sister.
いや、しかしですよ。妹さんのことはさておいても、僕はどうしても彼が資産を有効活用しているとは思えんのです。
I don't think someone who isn't rich should have a big say in how a really rich guy is getting rich. Perhaps it was the alcohol having effect, but the younger male teacher leaned forward and spoke with a loud voice.
あれだけのお大臣ぶりにもかかわらず、慈善事業の類には見向きもしないというじゃありませんか。
ああ、その話は聞いたことがあります。寄付の申し出に行った人が門前払いを食らったと。何でも私のところに物乞いに来ても靴の底が減るだけですよと言われたとか。
なんという、彼は血も涙もないのかね。
Maybe he is. I didn't understand Tosuke very well. Was he a good person or a bad person? He did not make it easy for you to decide one way or the other. In truth, I had found him difficult to get along with, but I mean, I think I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. It seemed to be wrong to talk of him as a man without blood or tears.
福沢先生もなぜ岩崎くんばかりに目をかけるのでしょうか。私腹を肥やすだけ肥やし、挙句の果てには電気を作るなどと酔狂な夢物語を描いている男ですよ。
電気の研究などと言っているがね、あれも怪しいものだよ。
There are pretty unsavory people who walk in and out of his lab.
きっと福沢先生のご意向を利用して、電気とは名ばかりの何かよからぬ企みを。
Okay, that's going a bit far. The electricity research is real. Without thinking, I raised my right hand and interrupted the male teacher. The eyes of the people in the tatami room were once again on me as I raised my hand as if I were a student. I went into the lab and looked at Tosuke, my brother's research with my own eyes. It seemed that my brother wants electricity to reach every home in Japan eventually. But right now, electricity is too expensive, so he's at work thinking hard of a way to be able to supply electricity cheaply. Yeah, girl, why are you speaking on this? Why are you speaking on this like you know everything? You're just drawing attention to yourself, girl. Chill. However, they said bad things about my fake brother, and I was in no position to give my opinion. I knew that. But Tosuke was really doing research on electricity. I don't know what Tosuke is doing elsewhere, but I saw in the lab at least is true.
君、身内をよく言いたくなる気持ちはわかりますがね。岩崎君の身辺が怪しいのは確かなんです。我々は慶応義塾の一員として誇りを持っている。その栄えある看板を汚されるわけにはいかないんですよ。
Oh, my brother would never do anything to deface the sign. He just wants to light up the future for everyone in Japan's wants to light up the future for everyone in Japan, that's all.
だから、それが夢物語だと言っているんだ。
It's not a dream. Decades from now, it will really happen.
何を生意気な。
An older teacher stood up, red-faced, when old guy tried to admonish him for what happened.
彼女の言う通りですよ。
A voice came from the doorway of the tatami room, and we all turned to it at the same time. Holy shit! Why is he here? Before I put my hand on my mouth before we realized it, Tosuke was leaning against the pillar of the doorway at the entrance.
岩崎さん。あなた方にも今すぐニューヨークの摩天楼を見せて差し上げたい。それはまさに数十年後の日本そのものです。しかし光を恐れるならばモグラのように納屋の中にでもお隠れになるといい。
Damn, my dude.
闇に沈むもののけとともにいつまでも。
Tosuke smiled coldly and started walking away with the stunned people standing by his side. He crossed the tatami room and then for some reason approached me.
森さん、すみませんが、そこにいる妹を少し借ります。
Uh-oh.
何かあったのか。
ええ、急ぎなさい。典弘が倒れたそうだ。
Uh-oh. He's literally a fucking ghost. Like, he responds to the whim of the story at this point. He materializes out of thin air.
さあ早く。
After passing through the crowd, approaching the Inari shrine, he finally slowed down. Tosuke, is there a problem? It is a problem with you. I do this kind of thing while I'm at work. And who is Norihiro? Who has collapsed?
Norihiro
is my brother. Tosuke stopped suddenly and turned to look at me.
ちなみに本当の妹は3人います。おれん、おてる、おすい。それと幾太郎という兄が1人。
Okay. So there are 6 of them. That's quite a lot. Yeah, he has a lot of siblings. Holy shit. There's no time to be wondering about such things. I pulled my hand away from him. If so, then you don't want to be spending your time doing this. You should go and see your brother quickly.
弟が倒れたというのは嘘です。
Lied? I shook my head, not understanding what was going on. Girl, he was creating an excuse to take you out of there. Holy shit. She is dense. Why would you lie about that?
嘘つきという点ではあなたも同類でしょう。違いますか？
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. I can't say nothing about that. No, you're... Yeah, he's not wrong. I swallowed the words I was about to utter, but I remembered it had been me who started lying. I'm sorry, you're right. I behaved like I was your sister and bowed my head in remorse. And it's very hard for me to say this, but because of me, someone thinks you or somebody would sell their sister to an Ukia.
ああ、別に構いませんよ。今さら悪評の一つや二つ増えたところで何の支障もありません。実際私は金のためなら手段を厭わない人間です。家族を売ることくらいはするかもしれませんし。
Okay, music cut. Fitting. Okay, I guess you're really outing yourself here. I don't know how true that is. Holy shit. No, I don't think you would do that. I mean, if you would do anything for money, then I doubt you would have given me, a complete stranger, so much money.
あなたも古いことを持ち出しますね。
No, it's not so old. It happened literally just recently. At this, Tosuke sighed lightly and pressed his finger between his eyebrows. It was as if he was somehow tugging at his memories stored deep in his head with his fingertips.
あの日は確か少し自暴自棄になっていたんです。北海道の鉄道会社を辞めてから友人と貿易会社を起こしまして、20万の商談がまとまろうとしていたんですが、商談成立というところで取引先からの信用調査が入り、突然前渡し金の取り消しを通告されたんです。どうやら私が相場で得した利益を会社の資金にしていたのがその理由らしい。つまり相場師は事業家にはふさわしくないということなんでしょう。いくら資金がDamn.
Tosuke stopped speaking and looked up at the torii gate.
まあそんなことがあって、金も命も惜しくないという気分だった。
He's a genius at it.
その夜です。
He pulls at all the atmosphere springs. And apparently he can make any atmosphere uncomfortable, and it was just a word. It's amazing what he can do. He's a magician.
別にあの1000円は仏心からというわけじゃない。今にして思えばただ誰かに無用の紙切れを押し付けたかっただけです。結果的にその紙切れは手元に戻ってきてしまったわけですが。
Oh, damn, I'm sorry. I'd returned it with the good intentions, but now I had done the opposite feeling. I felt I had done something wrong. But I had no idea how Tosuke had been feeling at that night. So even then, Tosuke can get depressed and do some desperate things sometimes. Of course, I'm sure that everyone gets depressed sometimes, but for some reason I had the impression that Tosuke was a person who had no worldly concerns. He always seemed calm, unflappable, and rational. He lived his life by principles and concerns that were different from those of others. And did that matter work itself out agreeably?
ええ、数字上の損失はなかったので、ただ敗北感は未だに拭えませんね。所詮私個人の力では三井や三菱には太刀打ちできないと分かってしまったので。
That's another story at a large scale. Most people would not even entertain the idea of competing with such large conglomerates in the first place. As usual, his sense of scale was unusual as ever. I thought Charlie was gonna be the weird one that makes us feel uncomfortable. Turns out they all have their moments.
ですが、先ほど座敷であなたを見ていて、少し勇気をもらったような気がします。
Aw, it did?
ええ。あれは傍から見ていて実に痛快でした。まさか、一介のお酌が天下の福沢一門に物申すとは。
Okay, so that's what he meant. Oh, you know, I wasn't really intending to be speaking out or anything.
世間では国会議事堂が全焼した原因は漏電だというのが定説になっています。しかし実際はそんな証拠はどこにもない。一議員の推測がさも事実であるかのように議会で報告されただけに過ぎないんです。まあ世間では電気というのは電球の中で火が灯っているものだと思い込んでいる人も多いようですから無理もありませんが。
Tosuke shook his head lightly and took a step closer to me.
ですが、中にはあなたのように 世論に流されない人もいる。
Well, it's not like we've been to the future. We lived in the future. Like we know what's gonna happen.
そこで改めて思い出したんです。あの日ニューヨークで光の洪水のような夜景を初めて見たとき、私がなぜ電気を作ろうと思ったのか、なぜこの世界から暗闇をなくそうと思ったのか。
His eyes narrowed nostalgically, but behind those eyes, possibly because of the reddish city lights, an image appeared to flicker. As I stared back at the shimmering shadow, I felt a strange tingling in my chest. What is this? Did he drug me? It was some nostalgic sort of pain. Someone's voice lingering in my eardrums.
元気出して。きっとうまくいくよ。笑ってよ。
Oh, no, wait,
どうかし
Charlie?
ましたか？
And the voice that rang in my ears, lost in the hustle and bustle of the city in the blink of an eye.
お嬢さん。
No.
あなたは本当によくわからない人だ。誘うように見つめてくるくせに、私ではないどこか遠い場所に焦点を定めている。
I'm not inviting you at all. Where is this guy getting these invitations from? The events of the previous night came back, and I jumped to my mind, and I jumped back. Just now, for an instant, I thought I had finally remembered something from my past. I guess it's just my imagination.
ああ、そういえばあなたは過去の記憶がないとおっしゃっていましたね。
I may have just been imagining it, but he seemed to be snickering at me. With surprise, I looked at my face intently. I'm sorry if you had the wrong end of the stick, but were you just snickering at me by any chance? I felt like you were really making fun of me. This person was an important customer at the establishment where I was working. Having said that, I couldn't let it go. After all, I had been brought here while I was working. I felt as though I had the right to complain just a little.
そう思われたのなら失礼。しかし、バカにしたわけではありませんよ。
Sure. So you're trying to say that I'm lying again?
そうとも言っていません。ただ不思議に思ったんです。あなたは先ほど座敷で、何十年後かには日本全国が電気で明るくなると言い切った。
Oh no, he's getting close to the truth.
ご自身についての記憶はないのに、なぜ未来の日本を見てきたかのように語るのだろうと。参考までに伺いたいのですが、その根拠は何です？何か材料となるものがあるのならご教授願いたい。それともただの売り言葉に買い言葉というやつですか？
No, I really, I regretted again that I had made a comment earlier in the support of this person in the otome room. As you should, like, what the fuck is this weirdo? Let go! We don't want to talk about this! We aren't, it's not like that. No, we're not from the future, not at all. No, we're definitely we're the current age. We're from the Meiji period, not from the 21st century. No. No matter what was said about this person, all I had to do was nod my head amicably and agree with what the customer said. After all, I had a very scary experience at the hand of this person yesterday. I don't have any duty to protect him to the point of angering other customers. The thing is that I know what the future holds. As a person from the modern age, I just think we should respect those who are trying to create the future.
やはりただの勢いですか？
No, I have really seen the future. Why are we saying this?
は？
All at once, my pulse rate increased. I was the most surprised of anyone at my own words. Tosuke, as expected, was open-mouthed, as if it were possible. I wanted to get away from at the first opportunity.
未来を見てきた。
Oh no, look at the time. I gotta get back to work or else people will start worrying. Oh, see you guys. Bye. She's awful at this. Well, when I say that I've seen it, I mean I was there to begin with. Girl, please! No, let me take that back. I take that back. Girl, shut up! Stop talking! You're only digging your hole deeper. Now he's laughing. Tosuke, who had seemed taken aback, eventually scrunched up his face and laughed aloud.
そうですか。未来を見てきたんですか。
He's laughing at me again. Come to think of it, I was the one who had said something that should be laughed at. So why was I the one who got angry when someone actually laughed at me? The moment I said it, I knew I had made a mistake. But when he laughed at me so wholeheartedly, I felt myself opening up to him. Yes, actually, I am not from this age. Various things have happened and I was sent to this age for 100 years in the future.
100何十年後。それはすごい。確かにそんな先の未来なら、時を遡れる機会ぐらいはありそうですね。
No, there isn't, but my case was a special exception amongst exceptional cases. I didn't want him to think that I would be that easy to casually travel back in time.
しかしまさか、そういった答えが返ってくるとは思いませんでした。あなたは出会った時も変わった格好をしていましたが、発想も実に変わっている。
This is the school uniform from the future. It may seem odd in the same age, but in the future it is normal.
なるほど。その回答は信憑性がありますね。今少し信じそうになりました。
Huh? Tosuke, laughing for a moment, regained his composure and faced me.
それで、つまり、あなたのいた未来は日本全国がまばゆい光に照らされていた。というわけです、ね。
We're supposed to hide the fact that we're from the future. We're not supposed to blab it to the first hot guy who takes an interest in us. Come on. So in other words, the future you were in, the whole of Japan was illuminated by dazzling lights. Is that what you mean? Yes, that's it. It was sparkling.
ギラギラですか。
Tosuke repeated as if to say that's good. It's especially true in the Shinjuku and Shibuya. It's not merely bright. Some of the stores are open for 24 hours.
渋谷村にですか？あの一帯は今のところ田んぼしかありませんが。
It's not a village. Well, actually, that may be true now, but there will be tall buildings and lots of trains.
電車？
On hearing that word, he twitched his well-shaped brows. Yes, it's much faster than a steam train. Shibuya and Shinjuku have a whole lot of different trains intertwined, and it's like an underground labyrinth there.
その未来の電車とやらの電化方式ですが、直流ですか？それとも交流？
What?
直流では電圧が
The voltage is low with direct current, so if they want to expand the scale, I don't see any other option but to increase the voltage with AC electric fate. Look, she's just she's just a student. This must be very frustrating. Like, of all people to travel back in time, it's someone who isn't familiar with the technical knowledge of being an electrician or whatever.
それと車両のコストも気になりますね。変電所が少なくて済む分、車両には変圧器を搭載しなければならないはずで。
I don't know anything about that. It would be pretty unusual for high school girls to be thinking about voltage and substrations while riding the train. Now that he has started this topic, it was getting even more difficult. Tosuke, who had been deep in thought with a frown on his face, eventually raised his head.
それで、どうぞ続けてください。
I was asked to continue, but I mean, I wondered if it was okay for me to talk so casually about the future. I didn't think it was very good, but I doubted that the person in front of me was just taking my word for it. But instead of that, Tosuke was waiting for my answer in excitement. Even though I didn't believe a word of what I said, I found him hanging on. Even though he didn't believe a single word of what I said, I found him hanging on my every word disconcertedly. Well,
まあいいです。
Well, anyway, I can't really detain you.
話の続きはまた明日伺うことにします。
Tosuke smiled gentlemanly, raised his hand lightly and walked away.
それでは明日迎えに上がりますので。
Okay, I guess this is happening. Just wait a minute. I quickly grabbed Tosuke as he tried to walk away without a care in the world. What, you don't know everything about the world? Yeah, obviously we're lying. Yeah, we're lying because we don't know everything. Exactly how it works. What are you talking about tomorrow all of a sudden? I have work as usual, you know.
私は大引け後なら少し時間があります。確かあなたは私にお礼をするとおっしゃっていた記憶がありますが。
Oh god, fuck. Thank you, well...
こんな場でお礼をしたいなどと言われたら男は誰でもこう思うはずです。
No, I am not. I'm not, so please don't come. I mean, not that I wanted to thank you, but not in that way. Please, in any case, I can't.
ますます明日が楽し
Bro, take the hint. Tosuke. Bro will not take the hint. 12th day.
お待たせしました、お嬢さん。
Okay, bro. The next day, as he declared he would the night before, Tosuke came to pick me up. I never thought he would actually come. No, Tosuke was the kind of person, if he said he would come, he really would. Exactly, what happened to no means no? Bro's like, consent? Who's she? But I would have at least preferred if he had come on foot. He drove right up to the front of the Okiya, so he stood out like a sore thumb.
岩崎の旦那が新橋から貸し替えしたって噂。本当だったんだね。
あの新入り、なかなかやるじゃないか。あんな乗客めったにつかめやしないよ。
No, people are getting the wrong impression. I don't think I have a hold on him at all. It's more like it feels more like the other way around. It feels like he has a hold on her. Geisha leaned out from the parapet and looked down on us as if we were a rarity. In contrast to myself, who looked displeased, the face of the proprietress who had greeted Tosuke was all bright and sunny.
旦那、うちの子をごひいきにお願いしますね。
Please, mercy, mercy for my girl.
こちらこそ彼女には世話になります。
くれぐれも岩崎様に失礼のないようにね。しっかりやるんだよ。
But I'm in the middle of dusting the hallways.
そんなのどうでもいいんだよ。ほら、行った行った。
The proprietress is like, money, 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 money. Dollar signs in our eyes, man. How? The proprietress patted me on the back and pushed me into the passenger seat of the car. After Tosuke whispered something into the proprietress's ear, he quickly reached over and opened the passenger door.
どうぞ。
Where are you planning to take me?
決めていません。走りながら考えます。
Really? There was no plan? You didn't think about this at all? Okay, waste gas, I guess.
早く乗ってください。時は金なりですよ。
What the fuck is this guy? Just wait a minute. Tosuke pushed me, push her! Bro! And closed the door with a slam. What on earth is going on? If he didn't have time, I don't know why he bothered to come here in the first place. I really did not get the way that Tosuke thought about things. How romantic, being pushed into a car after not wanting to go with him in the first place. I know, he's such a gentleman. He's such a gentleman. Well, anyway, let's just go home after doing one lap of the route.
複雑そうな顔をしていますね。
Well, yeah, you're basically kidnapping me, so, or her, so. Tosuke said as he grabbed the steering wheel after starting the vehicle. Okay, so he's driving. I raised my face, and when our eyes met in the black mirror, I quickly let my gaze drift to the window. I was still in the middle of cleaning the Okia. I just feel bad for the proprietress.
心配には及びません。お上にはちゃんと話をつけてあります。
That's not the problem. It would have been better if I could go. If you could have invited me on my day off.
休みの日まで客と会いたくないでしょう。あなたの私的な時間を割いてまで付き合わせるつもりはありませんよ。
I mean, is Dimitri not pushy? He pushes you away. He pushes you away at every instance. His discipline is revealed in a strange way again. In things such as these, Tosuke was exact as usual. I heard that Tosuke paid a substantial amount of money to the Rote as a nomination fee for taking me out last night as well. Thanks to this, when I returned to the Rote, I was greeted by the proprietress with a smile of delight rather than with anger.
とはいえ、強引にお誘いしてしまったことは謝ります。どうか今日は気楽に過ごしてください。食事は済みましたか？何でも好きなものをご馳走しますよ。
I've already eaten. Please do not trouble yourself.
そうですか。日本橋にいい牛鍋屋があるんですが。
Oh God, he knows how to tempt us. He knows how to tempt us. Dimitri pushes his lance into enemies, not to limit his guard. You know what? That's true, but I meant like he pushes you away emotionally. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I gotta avenge my family. I gotta avenge my mother. I gotta avenge all my loved ones. I gotta kill them. All whispering shit into my head. I gotta avenge them. I have no time for you. I gotta avenge people. Vengeance. He knows exactly how to get to her. Just ignore what he said without thinking about it. I tried to calm my stomach, which was in an uproar in response to the words hot pot, and took a deep breath. It was true that I have separate stomach for beef, so I could take this as if it were a treat. If I only had a meal now, but maybe that was just a bridge to my real lunch. Just as I took a deep breath to clear my mind, my stomach bug growled. No, girl, please, no! You've been betrayed by your own stomach.
腹八分目だったんですか?
Or are you not completely full? No, I mean, there's no real reason. Calm down, oh my stomach. In any case, I'm not hungry, so don't worry.
随分と警戒されているようだ。
Yeah, why wouldn't I? You have given me no reason to trust you. And plenty of reasons to not trust you. I clenched tightly at the hand I had laid on my knees. He literally said to be more careful of men. Like, I don't know what he expects. That's how shocking it was that he had pressured me into the tatami room before. But in the end, it's not like he did anything to me. And there's no point in thinking about something that happened while drinking. In other words, I was somewhat naive in these areas. That this was a fatal flaw for someone who works in Kagurazaka. But it was Tosuke himself who pointed this out with his attitude, so I wondered why he patronized me in this way. For starters, I was not a full-fledged geisha, and I was a self-proclaimed woman from the future. I would normally be considered dangerous. I would normally consider to be a dangerous state of affairs. He probably thinks this is all drunken nonsense anyway.
お待たせしました。特上牛鍋2人前です。
In the end, we ended up at the beef pot place anyway.
どうも。
In the end, of course. Girl, you're so weak. You're so weak. Come on. pot was placed in front of me, and it made a fascinating sound as it gurgled. The beef was bright red as it sank into the stock, and the smell of good quality fat as it melts. Now my mouth is watering, holy shit. It is what one would expect from a restaurant known for its beef hot pot. How delicious it looks. I've already passed the point of wanting to eat it. I would rather just jump in.
すみません。無理に付き合わせて。よろしければどうぞ。
Like, dude. I don't know if I hate him or like him anymore, man. No, I can't even blame her anymore, because at this point, I'm the same way. I'm hungry too. No. No. I'm so easy. I'm so easy. Chat, it's so hard to not like him. No. He seemed to see right through me as though I had a separate stomach for me. You've mentioned this before, though. He said I would notice if you're into me. You've mentioned it before. My girl, please. I reproached the bugs in my stomach that did not hide her feelings. Thank you. Now that I was here and I had no option but to eat, I unreservedly pulled the beef from the pot as it simmered to its perfect state.
いかがですか?
It's wonderful. From the moment you put it in your mouth, the flavor and the nourishment soaks into your cells. Although fatty meat is also very nice, I've recently found myself gravitating towards lean meat. You can really make it into a beef hot pot or roast beef. However you cook it, you can really enjoy its taste.
東京で美味しいローストビーフが食べられる場所といえば帝国ホテルでしょうね。外国人の宿泊客をもてなすための料理人が揃っていますから味は折り紙付きです。きっとあなたも気に入ると思いますよ。
No. Chat. I'm hiding. I'm gonna hide on my desk and die there. How am I won over by beef? I'm no better than otome protagonist. I am no better. Chat. I can't get up. I can't get up. Fuck, I'm stuck. My fat ass keeps hitting the desk. Chat. The Imperial Hotel, there's no doubt about that.
ええ、私もいろいろな店を回りましたが、帝国ホテルは間違いありません。
Is it that good? Ha! I have decided to leave immediately. What do I think I was doing? Yeah, girl, what the fuck are you doing? I know. I'm fucking hungry. I'm so fucking hungry. God help us all. God help us all. I swear to God. I know it's just fictional beef. When I think of beef, I need to be put down like a dog. Woof woof beef woof woof. This was not the time for gourmet discussions as I feasted on our second lunch. Tosuke, please eat too. I seem to be the only one who is eating.
私は残った分でいいですよ。
No, 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 no. He can't do that because that'll just make me look like make her look like a fat ass. There won't be anything left over. Leave me to it. I will finish up the lot.
では全部どうぞ。
Dude, 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 dude. Please. I feel like a pendulum. I go from not liking him to liking him to not liking him again. He must have had amazing power to stay here and not extend his chopsticks to outside green meat. Maybe he has maybe he's received training as a hermit.
おや、岩崎くんとコリスちゃんではないか。
Oh, thank God! Fuck. A familiar voice sounded nearby as I picked up the last slice with my chopsticks. Mr. Ogai. I looked in the direction of the voice, and Mr. Ogai had entered the tatami room. Behind him was a young man in a school uniform. Huh? I'm sure I saw this guy at the Rokumekan.
こんにちは、森さん。
はは、昨日といい奇遇だね。どうやら僕らは同じ運命の輪にいるらしい。ああ、ここにいるとびきり不愛想な男は菱田俊宗といってね。東京美術学校に通う画家で、今は僕の家に身を寄せているのだよ。
どうも。
Yes, it was Hishida. He took off his hat once and bowed his head casually in an expressionless way as he was introduced.
俊宗、こちらは岩崎くんだ。そして彼女が先日話したコリスちゃんだよ。
Maybe he's open his mouth. Ah, yes, he's exactly. Dude, chat, look. I may have very specific tastes, but like I'm easily won over. It's hard to say no when people feed you, you know? I think I've seen him in the anime. I can't remember what he was like though. Shunso slowly turned his gaze to me. He looked dismayed as he alternatively looked at the empty pot and then me.
ああ、彼女が例の牛のしぐれ煮弁当を2つ平らげたという鉄の胃袋を持つ女性ですか。
Wait, we didn't eat one, we ate two? Holy shit. We really do have an iron stomach. We know that.
おや、岩崎くん。言ってしまったのかい？
私は初耳ですが。
大貝さんから聞いたんですよ。
ふむ。
I would die on the spot. I'm not gonna lie. What do you mean by Mr. Ogai summarized the situation by saying she's a growing girl or something like that. And looked towards the stained glass girl window. A growing girl. What does that even mean?
いやー、表に自動車が止まっていたものだからね。岩崎くんだろうと予測はついていたが、まさかコリスちゃんも一緒とは。
He keeps stealing me. He keeps stealing her and trying to bribe her to telling him about the future that he only half believes is true.
はは、兄弟水入らずというやつかい？
兄弟？
No, it's not.
まあ、そんなところです。
Tosuke, what the fuck? Tosuke shrugged his shoulders and interrupted my attempts to deny it.
たまには家族孝行をしないと、お偉い先生方に何を言われるか分かったものではありませんからね。
はは、そういない。つくづく難儀な立場だ。きっと亡くなったご両親は今の君を誇らしく思っていることだろうにね。
さあ。
Well, I wonder. Tosuke smiled somewhat self-depreciatingly. As always, he had a nonchalant expression on his face. So Tosuke's parents are already dead. I remember that he had 6 siblings, but other than that, I didn't know he had, and I didn't know anything about his private life at all.
オーガイさん、食事の邪魔をしたら悪いんじゃないですか？
あ、そうだったね。
よければご一緒しますか？
I have the car.
ご興味がおありなら運転してくださっても構いません。
That's not... Dude, that's so wild. In a modern age, you would not be offering someone who would rarely drive to drive your car. Then again, he's rich, so he'd probably be able to replace it.
それはいい。俊祖、せっかくだからご好意に甘えてみてはどうだい？自動車を運転できる機会などなかなかないよ。
え？は？
No, girl, shut up! Shut up! I wonder if he was someone like a gangster biker who drove around without a license. People are not what they seem. He was said to be a painter, but what he paints with is but what was he painting with? His tail lamps instead of a brush?
お嬢さん、自動車を運転するのに免許というものは必要ありませんよ。
Really? I asked in surprise, was Tosuke nodded.
誰でも運転することができます。もちろんあなたも。
So, there was no system of driver's licenses during this period. Thinking about it rationally, you hardly ever saw automobiles on the street. There was obviously no such concept as driving school.
帰りは運転してみますか？
No way, it's just impossible. I mean, you might as well be right.
運転するならどうぞ。
I will be going home in a rickshaw.
まだ彼女に命を預けても悔いはないほど長く生きてもいませんし。
I haven't lived long enough for Rude! She could probably drive. Probably. That's difficult. At least she, I guess. Well, I was at the point of being put out by this, but I suppose it was not surprising Shunso felt this way. I wouldn't want to be in a car I drove myself either.
こら俊祖、決めつけは良くない。意外と高度な運転技術を持つお嬢さんかもしれないではないか。
俺にはオーガイさんみたいにその可能性にかけてみる勇気はありません。
人間は勇気と好奇心を失った瞬間から老衰が始まるのだ。日常の中にも小さな冒険を見つけることが寛容で。
In this case, the risk may be too high for a small adventure. I inwardly pleaded with Shunso to escape. But even though Tosuke was in effect driving without a license, he was really good. He was a really good driver. I felt sure that he was a person who could handle anything he was asked to do, perhaps to a maddening degree.
何か？
No. I wonder if there's anything at all that I could do better than Tosuke. Probably eat meat. Can't think of anything. After my second lunch was over, Tosuke and I left the restaurant.
腹ごなしに少し歩きませんか？
Yes. Having been treated to this meal, I could hardly say I wanted to go home early. So I obediently followed after Tosuke. Girl, please! Nihonbashi was crowded with people as usual, and there were tourists, and there were touts all, and there were touts were all. What? Nihonbashi crowded with people as usual, and there were touts were all over the place. That's not a sentence. That's not a sentence. People seemed to walk at a different pace than in Kagurazaka and Nihonbashi. Kagurazaka was also bustling, but people's steps were were relaxed as if they were enjoying a stroll. Conversely, everyone seemed busy in Nihonbashi. Perhaps because of the many merchants that lived there, many people were rushing around with large bags on their back. Oops, sorry. Someone running in from behind bumped my shoulder as I strode away. As I staggered my reaction to that, Tosuke quickly took my arm.
人混みは苦手のようですね。
Dude! Sorry, it's not that that's not it.
よければ私に捕まってください。
Without waiting for a reply, Tosuke wrapped his hand around my left arm. I'm fine. I'm not a child. I can walk by myself.
この辺りはスリが多い。
What?
特にあなたのような女性は格好の獲物です。
But if they can tell at a glance that if you are with a man, the odds of you being targeted are drastically reduced. Ah, I was easily persuaded. That seemed to make sense. Girl, please stand up for yourself. Grow a spine. Come on. Well, in that case, I will take you up on your generous offer and hold on to you.
どうぞ遠慮なく。それとも手をつないだ方がいいですか？
Don't push your luck, buddy. Don't push your luck. But siblings don't normally hold hands, dear brother. I quickly replied, which Tosuke flashed a grin.
あなたも交わし方を心得ていますね。
I hope to God she is, considering how you are. I wasn't dodging anything. It is a fact, a simple fact.
まあいいでしょう。兄としてこんなに可愛らしい妹を連れて歩けるのは鼻が高い。
Saying such a thing with that cool face. But once I thought of it as taking a walk with my brother, my shoulders strangely relaxed. The hand that held my arms seemed to fit without difficulty. If I were really born as Tosuke's sister in this period, it is kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie, like, what do you mean she's obedient and easily persuaded? She's literally, I don't know, 16? 16-year-olds are very naive, so, like, but like, the way they put it, yeah, I'm like, are you describing a girl or a dog? Tosuke stood out in the crowd. The beauty of his appearance and sophisticated behavior drew everyone's attention to him. He was graceful and cultured. If I were his sister, I would be very proud. I was sure he would teach me how to study and even help me with my homework. I was surprised to find out how much I liked the idea of having a big brother. But if your relatives are like this, you might become over discerning and find it hard to find a boyfriend. I enjoyed imagining what that would be like. As I was crossing the bridge, I heard clomping sounds from somewhere. I slowed my steps and looked around. Tosuke, that sound. So have you heard the story?
ああ、もちろんさ。帝国ホテルにもののけが出たんだって。
I overheard the words of the passerby. Tosuke's arms stiffened slightly as he stopped and I looked up.
この前も忍ば
やだね。ヨーラカは何してるんだって話だよ。まったく。
Tosuke seemed so stern that I hesitated for a moment to speak to him. Although initially confused, Tosuke immediately returned to his usual calm face as he looked down on me.
音がどうしました？
Ah, that's right. That clunking sound just now, I heard from just now. What was that? Concerned about the change in his expression, I pulled Tosuke by the arm and looked down from the bridge railing. Listen, you can hear it from the river.
もしかして
Is it the 1 cent steamship? 1 cent steamship?
ええ、一区間一線の蒸気船です。エンジン音がポンポンと鳴ることからポンポン蒸気とも呼ばれていますね。確かここから両国方面に行けるはずですが。
Tosuke's eyes seemed to say, "Don't you even know that?" Was that a major means of transportation at that time? Is the boarding point for 1 cent steamship here?
乗りたいんですか?
Oh, no, I was just wondering what kind of boat it was. I don't get many opportunities to come here, so I thought I'd take a look. Tosuke gave me a hesitant pause, but nodded slightly.
では、せっかくなので乗りましょうか。
No, it's fine. You can't just leave the car here.
車は置いておいても問題ありません。それに、あなたの口から希望らしい希望を聞くのはこれが初めてですから。さあ、こちらですよ。
Dude, taking full advantage of this. Tosuke started walking as if he made up his mind and was going to act upon it immediately. Rich people, am I right?
足元に気をつけてください。
Yes. The 1 cent steamship was a snug little ship, and similar to water bus in the modern age. The boat carrying us slowly left Nihonbashi without a clumping sound. This was somehow fun. The rays of the setting sun shimmered on the surface of the water, and the birds gracefully circled overhead. Why is it that I was excited just to be on a boat, even though it's just another means of transportation? What is that building over there with the flag?
第一国立銀行ですね。あの辺りは金融機関が集中しています。貸し蔵を挟んだ隣にある大きな洋館は実業家の渋沢栄一邸ですよ。
Wow. So somebody lives in that palace-like building?
ええ、数百もの企業設立に関わった大人物の邸宅ですからね。何でもベニスの様式を模して作ったとか。
Damn. The scenery seemed very oriental, perhaps because the riverbank was lined up with a mixture of pure Japanese and Western-style buildings. The view from the boat also made you feel as if you were traveling to an exotic island. Another 100 years, there will be many tall buildings here. As Tosuke leaned against the railings of the deck, he was silent for a while, staring off into the distance. From the clear blue western sky, it gradually turned into a reddish hue. The salty breeze softly shook his hair. What am I looking at? We were standing next to each other, but our eyes reflected different views. For some reason, I felt like I was the only one left behind. Come to think of it, the other day he was staring at the river. It was on my way back to visit Keio University when the horse I was riding ran out of control.
特に理由はありませんよ。ただ川を見ていただけです。
Dude has trauma with water, I promise. I promise this is gonna be the case. So you like the river?
ええ。昔は好きでした。
My boy can't swim. He can't swim. He said that he was born near a river. With that gaze, I couldn't tell whether he missed his hometown or not. What was he thinking about now? I looked in the same direction, wanting to understand a little more, but the view kept getting further and further away.
ようやく眉間のシワが取れましたか?
A short time later, Tosuke looked at me and giggled.
さっきまでずっと難しい顔をしていらしたので安心しました。
I'm sorry, I was actually a little nervous. I didn't want to be rude.
なるほど。まあ無理もありません。あなたはお上からそれなりの期待を背負わされてここにいるのでしょうし。
Why does he look so sad? He said it. But really, that was long and the short of it. With all the expectations from the proprietress, it was impossible not to feel some kind of pressure. Well, I suppose you're right.
正直な方ですね。しかしあなたにはその期待に応える気持ちがない。だから困っていらっしゃる。
Exactly. It's gonna be that kind of like my parents drowned in the river. So every time I look at the river, I remember how my parents sacrificed themselves to save me, or some shit like that. He saw through me mercilessly, and I was at a loss for a reply. I couldn't just say, yes, you're right.
思うに、あなたは花町に長く身を置くつもりはないようだ。
He calling us out. He can really read us.
しかし、あの置屋を出てどこに行くつもりなんでしょう。必要以上に干渉している自覚はあります。ですが正直なところ、あなたのような女性は初めてなので、少し手がかりが欲しいんです。誰かミサオを立てた相手がいるんでしょうか。それとも単純に私のことを色目を使うに値しない客だと判断されたんですか？
I mean, in a way, we're being manipulated by someone, I guess. No, that's not the case. I mean, fluttering my eyelashes is being too frank. But Tosuke's tone was solemnly calm, which strangely made it like an academic analysis.
違うんですか？だとすると
Tosuke suddenly shoved his hands into his suit pockets. Out of his pocket came the chocolate in question. He just kept popping them into his mouth without saying a word. Can you not make that noise ever again? He is eating really lavishly. Chocolate came from his pocket one after another. If I had been told it was connected to the fourth dimension, I wouldn't question it. Continuing to eat chocolate for a while, Tosuke suddenly looked up and saw me.
食べますか？
Yes.
どうぞ。
Bro. Tosuke extended his hand, holding a piece of chocolate and brought it straight to my mouth. A finger lightly touched my lips, and I reflectively opened my mouth, allowing the chocolate to roll in.
いかがですか？
Girl! Oh, it's so good. Girl, please. I'm crying. I am begging you to stop letting him do this shit to you. Girl, you're better than this.
以前お話しした米津風月堂のチョコレートです。国内のものではこれが一番脳に効く気がします。
Is that right? It was delicious, as I would expect from a highly recommended product, but my heart was pounding so hard that I couldn't even taste it anymore. I didn't expect him to bring it directly into my mouth, and I found myself suddenly perturbed. I just need to calm down. Then Tosuke said something looking at my mouth.
Yo.
It's... The wind had drowned out his voice, and I asked him to repeat it, and Tosuke gently put his face close to my ear. I'm not ready.
唇にチョコレートがついてますよ。
No, I hate that. I hate it when he does that. He's even feeding her like a dog. Actually, he's feeding her like a child because dogs are allergic to chocolate. Therefore, he can't be feeding her like a dog. Chocolate on your lips. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Tosuke's thumb gently wiped my lower lip. The lippy touch felt numb, and my heart felt like it was about to burst.
失礼。気になったもので。
I hate that. Oh, thank you.
ところで、さっきの話の続きですが。
Are you any chance of the daughter of some lovely bigwigs?
親子喧嘩の末、家出をしてたまたま音次郎君に拾われた。しかし近々家に帰るつもりなんでしょう。そう仮定すると、いろいろ辻褄が合うんです。あなたが特に金銭を必要としないことも。
He's wrong, but... Tosuke was earnestly presenting his theory, but his voice was disturbing my train of thought. I wasn't even sure what he was talking about.
返事がありませんね。あなたは正直である一方、秘密主義でもある。
really can't. What the fuck are you doing, man? You have not responded, mommy.
思わせぶりにされるのは嫌いではありませんよ。
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? He's being more normal. She's being normal. You're the one being weird. And she's told you where she's from. You just don't believe it. That's not my intention. I shook my head and giggled, and a giggle tickled my earlobe.
できることなら、あなたが一人前の芸者になるまで見届けてみたいものです。しかしそうなると、音次郎君は寂しがるでしょう。彼はあなたを手放したくないようだ。
I wonder. I think he would be happy to get his room back. If I became a full-fledged geisha, maybe they would give me a private room on Otojiro. But that's only if I did. I mean, I was sure I would return to the present day without becoming an apprentice geisha, let alone a full-fledged one.
彼はいずれ役者としての地位を不動のものにします。そうなれば、あなたを身請けすることも不可能ではないでしょう。ただそれは今すぐの話ではない。
I need him to stop whispering in my ear. If anything, I think you're more possessive than him.
ではもしここに今すぐにでもあなたをさらえる男がいたとしたら。
I want him to stop looking at her. I need him to stop that thought right there.
あなたが秘密を抱えているのなら、その秘密ごと手に入れてしまえばいい。そう思ったとしたらどうしますか？
Was this another joke? All I would have to do is casually let it pass. Completely immature, all I could do is expose my hot cheeks to the wind.
では質問を変えましょう。今日は最初からあなたを返さないつもりだった。
I'm sorry?
としたらどうします？お嬢さん。
I would fucking jump into the river. I had decided I would go home from the start, so that's what I would do, even if I had to swim back.
そうですか。それは残念です。
Tosuke shrugged lightheartedly and put his elbows on the deck handrail.
ああ、泳ぐなら吾妻橋あたりに注意してください。身投げの名所にもなっているくらい深いですよ。
Jesus Christ. I'm not a runaway young lady or anything, and I intend to go back to my own home in the future. But soon a smile appeared. I mean, it's both in the future and her home in the future.
ああ、そういえば、その説もありましたね。
So you don't believe my story?
もちろん信じていませんよ。
What the fuck was that?
信じられるわけがない。
So he doesn't believe my story. What the fuck was that? You know what? Fair enough. It's true. It's pretty unbelievable.
では逆に聞きますが、あなたは私という人間のことが信じられますか？
Yeah, like, dudes, like, I do whatever I want. Well, I'm not sure how to reply being asked this out of nowhere.
信じられないでしょ？
That's because we don't know each other very well yet, do we?
信じると答えることはたやすい。ですが信頼関係とはそう簡単に築けるものではないと思っています。
He was right. The relationship I shared with Tosuke was that of a drink pourer and a customer. Even if you changed the designations, we were nothing more than acquaintances. But thinking about it another way, if we built a relationship of trust, would you believe my story? For example, if I became someone who Tosuke considered worthy of trust, would he come believe in the future that I spoke of, no matter how ridiculous the story seemed?
しかしそれとは別に、あなたの話を聞くのは好きですよ。
They are all lies, nonsense of course, the things I talk about.
バカバカしいのは未だに電気を妖術扱いしている連中の方でしょう。そんな急兵な輩に比べたらあなたの方がずっと先進的で柔軟性に富んだ視点を持っている。
Damn, really?
あなたが語る未来をこの目で見てみたいと思うほどです。
I mean, I would understand the witchcraft thing, but like literally straight up like I came from the future is more believable to this guy? Okay. Tosuke mumbled this while squinting at the view of Nihonbashi, which was getting smaller and smaller.
夜でも昼間のように明るい街ですか。きっと
But as a result of it, you can't see the constellations. When it's too bright on the ground, the stars lose their brightness.
ほう。それは大いに結構ですね。すべてを地上の光一色に塗り替えてしまえばいいんです。闇などかき消してしまえばいい。夜空も路地裏もこの水底もどこにも逃げ隠れできないように。
Yeah, this guy definitely has trauma. His eyes quietly shimmered, reflecting the dim surface of the water. Soon the night fell, and the boundary between the heavens and the rivers dissolved into a blur. Thank you very much for today. It was a lot of fun.
私も楽しかったです。ではまた。
Please never come back. After riding the 1-cent steam trick, Tosuke drove me back to the Okia. The light of the cars were no longer visible, and the area was enveloped in a quiet night. I had a really great time today. At first, I wondered what would happen, but surprisingly, I found myself enjoying the sightseeing around Tokyo to its fullest. Maybe this man is not a customer. He's my fake brother. Strange strategy had worked. But more than that, Tosuke's excellent escorting made me feel at ease. Time had really seemed to fly by. I wonder if Tosuke actually had a good time as well. He was not one to dish out social platitudes, so I had fun. I was rather relieved to hear him say he had fun. But his face seemed to cloud over from time to time, which made me concerned. I don't know what I'm worried about though. Regained my composure and headed to the front door of the Okia. And we're gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys had fun. Everything seemed to be doing well, stream-wise, considering I was worried for a minute, just because I'm not using the usual. This was like a temporary fix of what happened, but nothing crashed. So what more can I hope for? Thank you so much again for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Bye!